Hello, everyone. Welcome back after such a long time. Good to be back from Sochi, and I also have Keti with me, who's quite regular on Chess 24 India, and requires no introduction, or I'm just being lazy. And we also have Grandmaster Sahaj Grover from Delhi, who currently lives in South Africa and is also a publishing manager of Chessable, who is sponsoring this event and was also directly responsible and overseeing AD's 1B3 course. So if you are waiting for it for several months and were impatient about the delays, you know exactly who to blame. Welcome, Sahaj.
That was a bloody introduction of both of us. Thank you, Sri. I don't know, like how long we're gonna be here today, but we both promised you it's gonna be a lot of fun for you. Hello, everybody. Hello, I'm glad to be here in this company, and seems like it still has this effect, Sochi effect. Mm-hmm. Seems like we have to take this, Sahaj. We have to
Absolutely.
take this.
I think on top of that, he also has what you call 1B3 effect. I think he's been suffering from it for the last couple of months.
Yeah. Yes, I have been suffering. That is absolutely correct. I have been suffering from all these 1B3 effects. Meanwhile, we do have the quarterfinals going on, and we had three Indians in the prelims: AD, Harikrishna, and Koneru Hampi. It was a very high-scoring event, and AD was playing fabulous in the prelims. He started out with 4 out of 6, one of the best scores. I think it's clearly the best score by any Indian after 6 rounds in the history of Champion Chess Tour. But when he was playing against Hikaru during the 7th round, he had a brief moment of disconnection, and that kind of spoiled his momentum for the rest of the tournament. He lost against Hikaru. He made a few draws, and then despite his best valiant efforts, he could not make it to the top 8. So here we have the quarterfinals. Hikaru against Vladislav Artemiev. Ali Reza Firouzja plays against Li Kwang Liem. Wesley So against Jordan Van Forest, and Levon against Mamad Yaro. This is the quarterfinal. This is the quarterfinal lineup that we have. All of them world-class players. All of them about 2750, except for Jordan Van Forest, who is also at 2688. I mean, not most of them below 2750 in the classical ratings that we have on display here, but in speed chess, they're all, I think, higher rated than that.
Yeah. But also, Jordan Van Forest is kind of star of this year because he managed to win over the boards tournament with a lot of stars there. So he's in a good shape, and I think in chess the most important at this level is to feel yourself in the best shape. So let's see how he will do here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I was able to explain my loss to Srinath. A few years back. Exactly. Losses. Those are exactly my words. It doesn't matter what your strength is.
It's. I think it should be in plural, yeah, not singular.
You guys, do you want to take a look at the game of Van Forest and Wesley So? Because it's kind of Catalan position. So Sri, you are expert in that. But now both knights are hanging on d5 and on f3.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Keti. This is why you're the perfect co-host, finding the right moment and the right position.
It's not even Catalan. Come on.
It looks like Catalan.
Looks like Catalan.
Good enough. Yeah, so how did we get here? This is the fianchetto fianchetto King's Indian. It started with 1 c4, and after 4 moves, we are in the King's Indian fianchetto position, which also gives me the opportunity to once again point out that my course on Catalan, the lifetime repertoire, is actually a 1d4 course, a full 1d4 course, not just Catalan. Sahaj,
Nice.
are you bursting out to say something?
I'm sure. Let's keep it for later.
That's nice. I think I should ask for percentage 3 from you every time I ask something about your course.
We can work out some kind of a coupon.
Okay.
People with Keti OP. But yeah, I mean, this King's Indian fianchetto is one of the variations which is covered in the Catalan course, and Black here plays short castle, keeping this option of both d6, d5 open, and he can also sometimes play c6 and d5. He has these 3 different pawn structures which can arise from this position: knight c3, knight c6, and here in my course I recommend these systems with knight to e2, but knight f3 is the main. Man, we should have the camera of Sahaj on all the time. So knight f3, d5, takes, short castle, and now e5. Sahaj, what are your thoughts on how the opening has turned out?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I'm seeing this e4 idea. I'm not sure if this is clearly he hasn't gone through your course. I mean, clearly. So yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It still looks a little more comfortable for white, as far as I can see. I mean, just as a generic structure with 3 versus 2 and 4 versus 3. I would normally pick white here for practical purposes, but I'm not sure how the position looks objectively. And clearly, I mean, it looks like that this is Jordan's preparation. Yeah. What about you?
Absolutely. I mean, Jordan does have this penchant for throwing out these moves in the opening, which aren't mainstream, but pretty. We have Abhijit Gupta in the chat who says, I have played this after e5 for black has no problems whatsoever. And I'm also surprised, Sahaj, that a publishing manager has been caught off guard, because I was under the impression that Chessable has a lifetime repertoire on virtually every opening in the world right now. So maybe you should just go through that opening explorer, and probably you will find a course on Chessable. Yeah.
You see, we do have an LTR on every opening, but I don't know them. Yeah, that's the problem there. I haven't gone through each and every one of them. If I did, yeah, that would be a different story.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm absolutely sure that no one can humanly remember all the different courses and the openings, but it's very easy to use that feature on Chessable, right? You just go to the opening explorer, you enter the moves, and it shows all the different courses that are there in that position, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think several more moves. Knight g5 was played, queen captured the knight on d5, knight e4, and d4 pawn is gone.
Yeah, sorry, I just haven't drawn arrows in a whole
You
month,
missed that,
so.
we know. We're
Yes.
patient with that. You missed that.
Yeah, queen into d4.
And now
Nice.
knight c3. Knight has to come back on c3 just to block the diagonal, because in other way, I think it's going to be harder for white to develop the bishop from c1, right? Because b2 pawn is hanging.
Yeah, true. 2 things. Yeah, one is it blocks the g7 bishop, and another thing is it opens up the g2 bishop as well. And Keti, you play this specific line with white, right? The setup with g3.
Well, yeah, I play g3. Yeah, I like fianchetto bishop.
You don't seem very happy about that.
Why? very happy.
I just thought of something to say about Catalan. That's all. I was trying to throw
I
some
mean,
shade there.
this is one of the comfortable. Like I play also other things, but I like when my bishop is on G2. I feel more comfortable with that.
Right.
So do you think it's wait, black played bishop e6 already here, right? Yeah, we're a few moves ahead, I think.
Yeah, Sri is in Sochi time still. Some 3 hours behind us. Queens
True,
were
You can't really blame me for still being hungover on Sochi after all the wonderful Georgian food and the company in general.
Yep.
What's your favorite type of Georgian food?
So of course, I think everyone knows kachapuri, and also there is this thing which we call as momos in India. It starts with K.
Khinkali.
What's it? Yeah, Kinkali. Yeah. It's almost the same, except it's called dumplings in China.
Yeah.
It's called momos in India. So I think these two things it's already well known. And I also had this something called chokobli, which that was awesome.
Yeah.
And so close to India in terms of the taste.
Yeah, we have, I think, a lot of common spices. But the funny thing is that Sri was sharing some screens from the menu and asking me like which one is better, what to choose, and so on and so on. And I told him that in Georgia, we don't have this rice culture as, for example, in India, right? And we like bread. We eat a lot of bread every day. I told him this. Every day he was keeping asking me if it was okay to order rice as a side dish, like instead of bread. And I was like, no. He wanted still to make it as Indian, like Georgian Indian dish.
Yeah, I after a couple of days, I just went ahead and started ordering rice anyway. And the first time I did it, the waitress was like, rice? But and then after a few days, they already knew what I was going to order. And
yeah, I think they just brought the rice for you, like they could brought the water at the table. Like, sure thing, this guy needs rice.
Yes.
All right, we have queens off, Sri. We have queens off. Let's see the end game, actually. What do you think about the end game here?
It seems like white has some pressure against this point in particular, yeah? The pawn on c7, the knight on c6, and right now white is not able to play knight b5 because the bishop on the pawn on b2 would hang, but maybe just defend it, and then white has options with knight e4, knight c5, knight a4, knight c5 incoming. So there is some pressure, yeah. Although concretely it looks like black has equalized.
Yeah, but I don't know. Practically, I still prefer white here. I'm generally quite uncomfortable playing such positions with black pieces. I can be too impatient here. So yeah.
What are your thoughts, Keti?
I think black is fine. Like I like this mannering by the knight, but also the pawn on b2 is hanging really badly. Like if black captures this, then will be fork. Is that a fork or double attack?
How?
Like after bishop b2, it's a fork, right?
Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing.
So and also e6 bishop is quite active. So like white can't really mannering that easily around, and rook comes on d8, and there is not such a weakness in the position that white can start to play. Of course, this what you mentioned, this c7 and so on and so on. But if white goes for that, then black has a counterplay, and be okay if
how?
I play with black.
Like, for example,
Yes.
let's say knight a4.
Yeah, knight a4 and yeah, just
This
rook
is
d8 maybe.
this rook.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That rook.
sorry. That's...
Yeah, the idea is I know knight c5 looks really ugly for black, but there's bishop e2. That's what I'm counting on.
Initially I did not see this, which is why I was making sure, because I was like, are you walking into knight c5? And then I realized, okay, so this is your idea to take the pawn on b2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, after rook d8, maybe I can go bishop g5 just to annoy black.
Yeah.
Provoke
Oh,
f6.
that's bad.
Yeah, just to provoke f6 is the main idea. Then, okay, I
Right.
would want to go bishop e3 back because I am a bit afraid of knight d4.
After f6, yeah?
Yeah.
Got it. Gotcha.
Oh, I wish I saw that move before I suggested rook f8, knight d4.
Yeah, knight d4 looks quite dangerous. But just king f1, no, after knight d4. In fact,
Yeah,
now
in
knight
general,
d5 will be more active, more useful because b2 is not hanging.
True, but he just goes king f1 at the beginning. He starts with king f1, a very unuseful move, a prophylactic move, and also I guess it has its uses in many different variations. Yeah, because although knight d4 it doesn't really threaten anything instantly. If black gets a tempo with knight d4 and plays c6 to give you an illustration. Let's say knight a4 and now knight d4 directly attacking this. White defends with king f1. And then black uses this tempo to play something like b6 or c6. Black then gets rid of this pressure that he was under earlier. And I think this bishop into c7 can be met with something like b5. Because now the knight is attacked. It has to come on the c file. And
maybe rook c7 first makes sense, no?
Yeah, if rook into c7, then I thought there will be some concrete counterplay against e2. So let's say takes, and something like bishop c4 and
okay. Wait. In that case, I'll push e3 first. So before taking rook c7, I'll push e3 first, and now rook c7. So you probably knight f5 here, and now rook c7.
Yeah, but again, takes rook c8 and some possible counterplay. Yeah, rook c1 there's bishop e5.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
otherwise rook c2.
Black's pieces are super active here.
Yeah, so essentially the point is black was getting this knight d4 with a tempo, which was helping him get rid of the pressure he was having on these points. And for this reason, Wesley prophylactically he starts with king f1 to ensure that he can do his forward operations. Meanwhile, do you think we should probably move on and have a look at some of the other games that are going on?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. I think Firouzja versus Likwang looks quite interesting.
Firouzja versus Likwang. What are your initial impressions?
Well, to me, it looks like a Berlin in game, but and I think bishop b3 is now quite dangerous. The pawn on e5 looks superfluous. Yeah, but okay, it should be equal. Yeah, nothing more.
Yeah, and Keti, what are your initial?
Yeah, sorry. I somehow was under the impression that this is a Berlin endgame, so I thought there is an extra pawn on c5 or something, and yeah, that was a oh well.
Yeah, no, there's no extra pawn. Black is a pawn down. Black has the pair of bishops. And what are your initial impressions, Keti?
I'm looking now at the screen, and they look like before and after a visit of salon stylist. they both looking very similar with the glasses, but the haircut is so different. It's kind of before and after visit of the stylist. About the position, I think Black can, because of the pair of bishops, Black can find some way to make compensate this pawn, because pair of bishop in the end game is superpower. For example, in this position, if Black wants, Black can get into the opposite colored bishop endgame, which is easier to hold. Like, I know there are many pieces, we need to go a bit deep there, but there is some chances for a draw if Black wants to do it.
Actually, yeah, sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's Black has nothing to worry here in this position. And also look at the time, like the time also says sometimes a lot, like 14 minutes here for Black against 5 minutes. So I think Black is fine here.
It's curious. Curiously, White has gone bishop f2 in a bit to try and keep the game alive. And I thought king f2 was the most natural move here. And I think this is a good time to get back to the chat and ask them the question, if you're Black here, how would you try and make a draw? Imagine you're Black here and White is someone, and you really want to make a draw for sure. Now, what is the smoothest and the safest way that you would make a draw with Black here? And perhaps this is the reason why Alireza went bishop f2 instead of king f2. I'm not sure if that's a good decision, but I think the reason is because bishop f2 was like the only way for him to try and keep the game going. So maybe king f2 he thought was, essentially a draw.
Maybe bishop b3, that's what he's, afraid of. Like bishop b3, bishop captures the a4 pawn, and still game is going on. Oh, without capturing on e3, because there is a pin, right?
Yeah, but bishop b3, there is a king f3, yeah?
Okay, and, you can capture now.
Takes, knight f5.
All right, then.
Okay.
Bishop.
I've blended something.
There is a tactic.
Yeah. Now, again, chat can refute my blender. Yeah. Keti, once again, when I say chat, it actually
I stopped
means
myself. I stopped myself. I learned it. I learned my lesson. Sagar doesn't know that. Sorry, not Sagar. Sahaj. The first day when I came here, first 2 days.
Did you just confuse me with Sagar?
No, I have some problems with your name forever, and everybody knows about that. I always call you a different name. I don't know why. If I call you your name, you should be surprised that something is wrong with me.
Okay.
So I was like a guest here for like 2 days, and when they were asking chat, like there's a tactic like checkmate in 2 moves, and I was the one who was shouting so much. It's like, oh, this is this, and they were like, what? Can you wait? So I learned it now, and I'm not shouting anymore the moves. Do we have some move? We have a move, actually. Yeah, we have a move.
Lots of moves. Sure, you can maybe read it out.
So we go with bishop d1 check. And these bishops are cutting all the squares from the king. King has only 1 square on the e4 that looks really nice because in the center and so on. But then second check comes on c2, and they unfortunately White cannot save the knight on f5. So this is gonna be game over for White if he chooses this way.
True. So yeah, I think bishop b3 was a pretty strong move, Keti, and bishop into e3 check is also a move, I think, which would draw the game immediately for Black, because this opposite color bishop, despite the presence of White's 1 extra pawn on e5, it doesn't really make much of a difference. And in fact, I think we have something similar on the board right now on the live game. white has this extra hedge pawn, but I don't think it contributes in any way for white to try and play for a win here, right?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fortress, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a. But I'm a bit surprised. After bishop f2, did he not have something clever? Because it did seem like a bit of a dubious move to me.
Instead of taking on e3 and to
Yeah.
get into the
I don't know. I quite like the bishop b3 ideas in those positions. But yeah, this is just a.
Sorry, which moment are we talking about?
It was in the beginning, right? When instead of king f2, white played, I think, bishop f2.
Yeah. So
Some
what was the
tricks.
point?
So bishop f2, like gf4. Like I don't really see how white is playing here for an advantage.
Makes sense actually, because after knight g4, black can just make a draw with bishop at g4, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather keep
At
the
least.
bishop there. So bishop, I don't know, bishop c7, for example.
Yeah.
It looks a bit tricky, but yeah, I mean, I still don't see how black doesn't look
black
like
is
black
worse. Yeah. I
don't
think you're
so.
right. Black was never in any danger of losing in this question. It was always very pleasant for black here, I think.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But we have a draw in this game. So the first game between Ali Reza and Lee Kwang ending in a draw, a very comfortable draw for Lee Kwang Liem, who is Vietnam's #1 grandmaster and also one of the finest players in the world. Meanwhile, the game between Aronian and Mamadiyaro, I think this has also been interesting for quite some time. Yeah, I've been having a look at this from the back of my eye, from the side of my eye. No, I cannot see backwards. And
for a moment we trust you. We thought you had.
I wish. You know, in the rural parts of India, where tigers live in the forests, people wear a mask on the back of their head. So when the tiger loves to attack from behind. It doesn't prefer to attack humans or anything from the front. So when it looks from back, it looks like it's facing the human.
Oh wow.
So
that's a good idea when I'm walking really late in the park. Maybe I should.
Oh yeah.
I should use that mask.
Maybe like on the side too, just in case.
Nice idea. What about this position?
To me, at first, it looks like black is completely better because he's going to win a pawn on e4. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think cd4, queen e4. I just yeah, no.
Can we be really tricky and play instead bishop
That's
c2?
exactly what I was. Sorry, Keti. That's exactly. I just saw the arrow and I just went completely berserk. That's yes, exactly what I was hoping.
White really wants to play bishop c2 and e5, but if you start with bishop c2, then black instantly closes off this pathway. Yeah, maybe he starts with d3 and then allows you to take it and then closes off this pathway.
Oh, d3 is a nice move.
Yeah, because if I start with knight e5 first, then white takes c into d4 and you get e5 anyway.
Yeah.
So Aronian, he doesn't start with bishop c2 because of this. Instead, he starts with e5. So he forces black to do something. I mean, he forces him with a threat. And when black takes it, then I was going to say he's going to play bishop c2, but he took it with the queen. So in this case, it's just white trying to catch up and try to make a draw. Yeah.
Yeah, White is trying to make a draw, but is it the really equal position here? Like f pawn is so good looking pawn, can be pushed f3, and then knight and the rook can be really dangerous for the king. There will be some checks, definitely.
Yeah, I think black is just clearly better in this position.
Yeah.
Sahaj, what do you think?
I don't know. I of course, practically speaking, I think black has the chances, but I think white can escape with a draw. Simply speaking, with if because white has a bishop, black has a knight, pawns are on both sides of the board. Therefore, the bishop has a slight advantage in comparison to the knight.
Right.
So for that reason, I think white does have some chances to escape in this position. And even if we enter a pure rook endgame, then I think the chances of draws even increase because the famous saying, all rook endgames are drawn. So
completely agree with you there, Sahaj. I think white's chances of making a draw is maybe something like 65% and maybe 35% black wins, or maybe I'm even overestimating there. Yeah, 70% draw, 30% probability of black winning here. And the last game, which we haven't had much of a look so far, Hikaru, one of the finest online speed chess players, I think, in the history of speed chess, which is actually only 15 years old. And Vladislav Artemiev of Russia, one of the up-and-coming top players from Russia. And I think he played extremely strong in the previous iteration of the Champion Chess Tour, where Arjun also became the first and the only Indian to get into the knockouts of the Champion Chess Tour so far. Artemiev reached till the semi-final?
Yeah.
Or
yeah. He did really good until was it even final or not?
Oh, yes, he reached the
final. Yeah.
Yes, he reached the final when he lost against Aronian.
Yes, and also Aronian right after this toughest match, I think he started to play so brilliant. But I have never seen struggling so much in any of the match like Aronian did against
Arjun.
Yeah, yes. Arjun, yes.
True, that was a thrilling match overall, and Aronian. It took Aronian everything to win that one. I think it went almost all the way to the Armageddon, but Aronian won one match before. Meanwhile, a few people in the chat asking to introduce Sahaj again. So Sahaj, he's a grandmaster originally from Delhi. He lives in South Africa right now, and he's also the publishing manager of Chessable. And I know Sahaj since I think we were like 7 years old, 6 years old.
You're gonna bring it up again, aren't you?
Yeah. What? Tell us.
Fine, get it over with.
So yeah, I mean, when Sahaj was his 6-year-old kid, he's 1 year younger than me, and we played each other for the first time at that time in the National Under-7. One of Sahaj's early lessons in chess, one of those losses that stayed with him since forever.
I didn't even remember that loss until you brought it up, like, I don't know, 15 years later. But hey, you remember in Under-7 I beat you?
There was something that was long forgotten already, like when you force yourself to forget something.
No, he actually sent me the PGN of the game.
I knew that. I actually wanted to say that he even remembers the game, but then I stopped myself. But
I have no idea how. Wow. But yeah,
you're a chess maniac, okay? You are a chess maniac. But I have also a story about Sahaj, and I don't know. After Adiban's story, I'm not really sure if I want to speak so much about all of this.
Come on, After
Yeah.
Adiban's story, I'm sure every other story looks pale in comparison.
All right. So I remember Sahaj from when he was very small, and the cutest baby. So you are not actually that, like, we are almost in the same age, right? Like I think I'm like 4 years older.
Yeah. You're 3 years older than Sahaj.
Yeah, actually, we played our tournament together in Spain. We played the game. I remember that game. It was in Rouser. Like, he beated me so badly. And I was a tall girl there with the title, and he was so cute, kid.
Okay. In all fairness, it wasn't a bad game or anything. It was like a 6-hour game on the queen in a queen end game, which was I was lucky enough to win that. It was not a clean win or anything. Like, I remember that. It was in sword, by the way.
Yeah, sword. Yes. Yes. We even have a photo of that. We even have a photo of that.
Yeah, but you had your revenge after that. You had your revenge.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That's something I won't forget.
Sri and chat. That was one of the coolest game. I sacrificed queen against grandmaster, and I did not lose the game.
Yeah,
Oh, we should show that during the
I didn't
break.
even put that game into my computer.
I
still don't know how that game went. I pretend it doesn't exist,
I have it.
It's okay. You can, as long as you keep it with you, it's
You can send me the PGN, Keti. We can have a look at it during the break.
Of course, we have to make party out of it. Actually, I forgot about that. No, I don't actually. No, I don't know. That's not what I wanted to say. There was also another story when you get second place at World Junior. Was it in Turkey?
Is it me?
Yeah, you.
I got bronze in India in Chennai. Turkey, I was doing very good until round 9, round 10, and then I just lost 3 in a row.
Really? I thought I remember you got some medal there.
No. In Turkey, Vidit got bronze, I think. Yeah.
Vidit?
Yeah.
That was 2012. That's the one Vidit got a bronze there.
Yeah. We all played each other in that tournament.
Okay, I have to remember that story then and bring it tomorrow, because it's some sensitive parts in there, so I have to be sure.
Which part? No.
There is a photo from the tournament, if you remember.
Oh,
you, me, and
okay, bro. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Oh yeah, it's okay. People. Yeah, I remember. It was Boyarchenko was with you.
Yeah.
Marie. I remember. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
Yeah, I think Sri, after all these stories that I'm just exposing here, and then it's gonna be you and me only in this channel. no one will come here and join us.
Thankfully, you don't have any story on me, I hope.
Not yet.
Okay, let's not.
But I do.
Let me not tempt it.
Let's not go there.
I'm waiting my time. Best time for that. The final attack.
Keti, do you really want to commentate alone on the Chess24 India channel? Is that what you want?
I want to steal the show. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get back to the chess game. Let's do it now. It's good timing. So white has an extra pawn, right, on e4?
Yes, white has an extra pawn on e4, both of them down to less than 2 minutes each. Mm-hmm. And it looks like there are some tricks for white to solve here. Yeah, for example, chat, what if white plays bishop c3 here? How would black respond if white plays bishop c3? Again, I specify chat just in case. Meanwhile, there's a question from Tanmay in the chat. Did you watch Duda's analysis with Nigel? If Vidit wanted to play for a win? No, Vidit didn't want to play for a win. It's just one of those very complex and tricky endgames, which the computer was showing everything as 0.00, but practically it turned out to be a lot more complex. And also, the players, they don't remember everything all the time. They're humans, and the amount of information that exists right now in our computers it has gone so out of hand for the last so many years. So people don't remember everything.
And I kind of have a feeling like players mostly remember the openings better than some theoretical endgame positions.
You think players remember it better?
Yeah, I think so. Like, because, in my imagination, it's like the most of the players are practicing openings more than anything else. That's why.
True, but on the other hand, the theoretical endgames, you learn them when you're like really small, and they never change. Whereas the openings, it constantly keeps changing. Yes, so I'm not entirely sure. Meanwhile, there's absolutely nothing on the chat.
Just one more, just a question. When was your first game in the Catalan?
Like my first game in the Catalan. My first game in the Catalan from white or black?
You remember?
Are you saying you played it first with black? Because you wouldn't ask this question otherwise.
Yeah, I played it first with black because I used to start out with 1e4, which was also our game in the under 7. It started with 1e4.
Yeah, of course.
And
of course it was.
My first game in Catalan was, I think, sometime in 2017 or 2018, I think.
How did it go?
Right. If I remember right, I won that game against Nakar Ailon from Israel.
Oh yeah, I know him. That Israeli GM, right? Nakar.
Yes. At that time, he was not a grandmaster, but he was trying really hard. Is he a grandmaster now?
Yes, he is. I know he went to UTD recently. I think he's still studying there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think that was my first game. And I haven't got a chance.
Just
to play
remembered
any
some
games.
story when you brought that topic.
If it doesn't involve me, then you can go ahead.
It involves you. Who else?
Yes.
You are the topic today.
So, Queen A5.
Well, we still have Sahaj for like 20 more minutes, so we can focus on the end of this game, and then we get to the story time. What say chat? Akshay says easy. You're in for the stories.
I'll be here for longer tomorrow, so let's save it for then.
We'll have more stories tomorrow, I'm sure.
I'll emotionally prepare myself, You have to give me a day for it, at least.
Sure. We cannot be so savage. We cannot be.
So now the chat is so completely distracted, even when I ask them chess questions, they're like, we are in for the story time. I want the dirt.
No, they see, if they really want the dirt, they can, they can watch the show, and then they can, wait for it, and there will be more anticipation for tomorrow.
Ooh.
That's we are in it for the long haul.
True.
I agree with that. Let's heat it up.
Okay, chat.
Okay, so knight c3
for you guys. Yeah. So what's going on here? Hikaru is he's still a pawn up. He's still keeping that extra pawn, but Artemio keeping all these little threads going. Yeah, making Hikaru solve them. Queen f3 on the board, and it doesn't look like black has any way to create any more further threats. It seems like white has everything under control, everything neutralized. Let's say
Can
I
just
take this
capture a3 pawn here?
Exactly my thoughts. If you do this, I was expecting possible trouble on the 7th rank against the f7 point. And that's why I guess he started with bishop into g4. So he distracts the queen away from here. And I'm not entirely sure how Hikaru would take it back, but
maybe with the queen, because the rook is hanging on c8. That's kind of one tempo.
True.
I was thinking,
But then,
actually, before in the previous line after queen a3, rook b7, do I not have queen a2? Or am I?
Queen a2. I was hoping for rook into f7,
But
which
bishop
actually seems to
g4,
work.
no? Oh,
Yes,
rook
bishop
g7.
and
No,
rook
I have
g7
queen
check.
b1 check at the end. King g7.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, I got very
So
lucky there.
you know what I do? I give a check on d7 first, and then I take on c8 with check.
Yeah, that does work. King g6 and knight f4, huh?
Yeah, king g6, knight f4, king g5,
Maybe
queen
checkmate,
g4
I
mate.
guess.
Very pretty, yeah. It's very nice.
This is a nice variation. I would have so loved to slow it down and show to the chat, but since we are having this live game,
and seconds on the clock, they have around 30 seconds.
Yes, they have around 30 seconds each, and black has gotten back the pawn. They're back to equal material. Hikaru continues to keep some attacking chances on the king side. Queen e4 centralizing the queen, and knight f6. What a nice move by Artemiev.
Wow.
That's
attacking
nice.
the queen and the knight in tandem. So e into f6, there is queen into d3, queen e7, queen d6 check.
Nice. That's why he's so upset on the screen now. On the camera, we can see that he's even talking to himself. I don't think he's streaming, right? He cannot stream right now when he's playing,
No,
but he's talking to himself, so he's quite upset.
I guess when you stream for some time, you automatically become more animated, more expressive. Hikaru is not streaming, but he does.
Do you think that after making a mistake, he's like, "Can you believe this chat?" Like to himself. I'm just wondering, is that possible?
I'm pretty sure it's going in his mind. He's like, "Can you believe this chat?"
We have to ask to our producer. Probably he can hear the voices from the players.
No, I think only the arbiters hear that. They are.
There are arbiters also in the Zoom call.
No, for the broadcast, they are in a different. So they're in a different one for the broadcast, and they're in a different one for the anti-cheating measures.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, we have a draw in the first game of Wesley So against Lord and Van Forest. So I think this game is also going towards a draw. It's pretty safe to assume 2 versus 2. There's one more game going on between Aronian and Mamadero.
This can also be a draw, and it's like 4 draws today. Oh, at the start.
Exactly. I think this is exactly what Sahaj was talking about. How
exactly.
white defense. So the foresight of a grandmaster there. Nice.
I even like this with white because the king is so active. Okay, white cannot
I was exactly
do more,
going to point that out. I was exactly going to point that out. Although white is 1 pawn down, he does have a very active game, and black's king is condemned to the lower ranks of this position. So I think this is pretty equal, despite black being a pawn up. I mean, it's so equal that people might be wondering if the live bar is working. It is working. It's just that the position is equal. White, it's 0.00. The game is heading towards a draw.
Good to know, because I thought that bar was not working in the other games.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the bar be up or down like this.
Are you sure, Sri? Maybe you have to double check if it's really working.
I haven't seen it go up or down. I thought.
So the it was up. No, when Hikaru.
No, just make a blunder on the board. No, play like.
No, but it's the live bar. It's the live. This is the live bar.
I see.
Yeah. So that is why it's not the board we have access to. It's the analysis board, and that is why it's not going up or down, because these players are making good moves. If it was up to us, then there will be a lot of fluctuations in the bar.
No question with that.
For sure.
Yeah, kind of feeling that black has to make a draw here as fast as possible, because there's no practical chance here to win this game, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any practical chance. I think the kings are going to just do a dance, and no, it's going to be the rook and the king. Sorry, the rook and the king dancing back and forth. Rook b7, rook b8, rook b7, rook b8. Rook d3 check to break the pair, but doesn't really change anything.
You probably rook b7 check first, and then you take on b5. Yeah.
True. There's going to be a check with a tempo sooner or later. But yeah, this allows white king. Oh, he takes rook into b5 first. Rook e3 check. Maybe he wants to keep this option of just going here and making a draw. I don't know. Because rook b7 forces the king back to h8, g8 in any case.
Maybe he wants to play king d6 after rook e3 check, because you still have that repetition afterwards.
Yeah. But here you have to be careful about allowing something like this. Yeah.
Oh,
behind
yes,
the passer is very, very dangerous.
Of course. You're right.
So the rook behind the passer, it's like one of these situations where in football you're just carrying the ball with only the goalkeeper to beat. Yeah. And
except
like
there
when
is no
he's
goalkeeper.
bringing his football impressions. Yeah, that looks nice. But white will not allow that, right?
yeah. No, white will not allow the.
Yeah, for example, now if rook d7, the white will quickly play rook a5, and that's it.
Yes, absolutely. So king e5, and I guess they're going to repeat and make a draw. That would be my best guess.
Wow, 4 draws then.
Oh yes, 4 draws. Yeah, 4 exciting draws.
Wow.
Nice.
Meanwhile, while these guys are still playing, Ali Reza, the kid who has achieved tremendous things at a very young age, he's so fast. He has started his second game, and we have this wonderful, lovely opening on the board in their match. So chat, here's an easy, simple
not
question
anymore.
for you. What is the name of this opening?
Actually, after knight c3, it's not that, right?
Yeah, after knight c3, I think it's more Nimzo Indian.
Yeah.
But let's that's not my question. My question
Good to know that Liam came back to his senses.
Akash Samuel David, Sushant Das, very knowledgeable chat. Bundita. Vishnu is asking for a ban. These guys are really, really brave, by the way. I think Ishan is really asking to be unmodded and then banned. Ishan is crying with a broken heart, but I think it's well deserved. So I'm not really going to pay attention to it.
You should tell Ishan that knight c3 is only possible because the pawn is on b2.
True, but you know these crazy devotees, they don't care if knight is going or bishop is going. It's like a cult.
It's like they almost like b3.
You guys, is the Mano in the chat our Mano in here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it seems we're gonna be alone today.
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. But okay. Catalan OP B3 OP 1 B3 cult. Oh, why am I streaming for these guys? Why? Yeah,
but Liam seems quite well prepared even here also. Like even in the previous game, I mean, yes, I know what you're thinking, but no, I wasn't praising your LTI.
Sahaj, isn't that like your job description? Why aren't you doing your job, bro?
Which it's past 5 o'clock, bro. It's not 5 o'clock anymore.
It's like praising Catalan only till 5, yeah?
Yeah.
No job requirements, but this looks really Catalan to me. All these ideas, bishop c6 and then knight c6 and knight e7.
Yeah, it's actually transposed into a Catalan. It comes from this move order, bishop e7, bishop g2, short castle. And here, short castle is the main move, but white has his move with knight c3, slightly different from short castle. D into c4, knight e5, and after knight c6, it looks like white has his extra move a3, huh? But apart from that, it's the exact same position. There is this variation, and then the position that we have on the board, it's with the move a3 included. And in modern openings, quite often these things can make a big difference. There is some strange line where a3 works so much better than the pawn on a2, or vice versa. Sometimes the pawn is detrimental. So
yeah, can you tell us about this light square weaknesses now after trading the bishop, Catalan bishop on c6 for the knight? Now white has to take care of this line, and there will be bishop e7 for sure. Black is going to play like this. And what is the white's idea how to control the light squares on the king side?
So when you lose a bishop, you have to make do with the pawns. The bishop and pawns are they're like partners on a chessboard. They're the only two pieces only two units which can control diagonals. The queen can also do it, but it's a bit low for the queen's job description to be covering these diagonal weaknesses. So the bishop and pawns, they have to work together in tandem. And in the case of when you have lost your bishop early, usually you have to try and cement it with the pawns. So you'll see white putting the pawn on f3 and another pawn on e4 if possible. This is how white will try and construct his pawn structure in the future, because he really needs to control these light squares and blunt this light square bishop of black's, which cannot be controlled by white's dark square bishop.
Okay, a very quick question to you guys and also to the chat. Oh no, we saw it. I wanted to ask what Ali Reza is having in his feast and what he's eating. Is it a apple or peach or
is he just showing his fist to his opponent as a? And now
no, he's eating something so much.
Now Li Kuang also feels like he's flexing his fist.
Wrapping. That's one of the benefits from playing from home.
I think
online,
it looks
right?
like a watermelon.
Watermelon.
Where are you looking at it though? I cannot see it.
You cannot see it?
I can see he's eating something, but it seems like he's covering it.
It's an
like
apple.
this.
I think it's an apple.
Chad, what do you think?
Someone said it's a laddu.
It's not Chota Bheem, guys.
What's laddu?
So laddu is it's like this sweet in India, round in shape, and there was this popular cartoon called Popeye back in the days. You know that, right? So there's this character called Popeye the Sailor Man, who when he eats from a can of spinach, he becomes incredibly powerful. And he can fight from any situation. Also known as Professor Boboy in the Dictator movie. And in India, we have something called Chota Bheem, which derives from a mythological character. And instead of spinach, Chota Bheem eats these laddus, from which he gets immense power. So that's the backstory of laddus.
I think it was nectarine. Nectarine?
Sorry?
He was eating some sort of peach. I forgot the name of that. I think nectarine.
Ah, okay.
How could you tell?
Because I also have it in the kitchen.
Oh, I see.
And they look similar.
Keti also does these cooking streams, you know, she's a pro in this aspect, in the skill. And last time also she was able to tell us exactly what Aronian was eating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, foodie here. Any questions about food?
Yes. If you're ever at a restaurant and you don't know what to order, go to Keti's stream, be in the chat, follow her channel, and you will get your answers instantly. She's the best person to ask in the chess community.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, meanwhile, the other game started, and that's Fun Forest and Wesley So. Here we have one.
You see how quickly she wanted to get away from Catalan? As soon as the other game started, she was like, "Oh, let's thank God. Let's move on from here."
No, I'm Catalan player. No, it's not like that. No.
Yeah, she's a Catalan player, bro. Just because she wants to move to Berlin, it doesn't really imply anything.
Fair enough.
D3, Bishop C5, and now Bishop G5 by Jordan Van Forest. Once again, one of these rare moves in the opening by Jordan. He usually, the main line here is C3 to prevent knight D4. Another main move is short castle, which allows knight D4, but goes into these kind of positions where the knights have been traded and otherwise everything looks similar in terms of the structure. Pretty high level stuff, the Berlin theory. After Berlin, Berlin is basically the third move after knight f6. White has two major ways to respond. One is going into this Berlin endgame, and this was first popularized by Vladimir Kramnik against Garry Kasparov. He used it very effectively to blunt Gary's opening prep with white and win that world championship match. And D3 is known as the anti-Berlin. And this is, I think, one of the biggest main lines apart from the Berlin endgame, almost equally as popular as the Berlin endgame. And after D3, Bishop C5, Bishop G5 is a rare move, and Wesley So, who is usually fantastically prepared theoretically, even he's thinking as early as move 5, which also shows how incredibly rich chess is. Yeah.
And how Black is going to unpin the?
There you have it.
Yeah,
Keti, the answer.
Made a move, and I was like, should I end this sentence or not?
Knight E7 is a very, very interesting move, which also gives us the opportunity to once again get the chat into the mix. This is going to be a bit of a difficult question for the chat, but I'm sure there are people out there who can figure this out. So what if white gets into the greedy mode, takes knight into e5, then how does black respond here? Black to play. It's a pretty simple idea for black, and it has to be executed in a very precise way though. So not easy.
I don't think it's working.
It's working. I think it's working. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I think it's working. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You truly are a representation of the chat, Keti.
I was looking at the other idea, man.
Yes,
yes, I get it.
Which gets responded with a check. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think even that variation, black is winning something because there is a maybe not.
No. But yeah, it's a good question.
We have 2007 Vishnu in the chat, who is actually a FIDE-rated player, quite decent, quite strong. He suggests C6 and Queen B6, which is not a bad idea at all. But I think black has more here.
No, but after C6, Queen B6, you can just take on F7 and come back Bishop B3.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to really guard F2 because black just lost 2 pawns, and in exchange, he only got 1. So
true.
White
so
should
C6,
be
Queen B6, not the right answer.
We have this idea twice.
You figured it out, Keti?
I have one idea only.
It's quite similar to the question you asked earlier. You
About
asked a
unpin?
question. No, you asked a question earlier. If I say the question, you'll know the move.
Say then.
Okay, it is. You were asking me if it's a double attack or a fork.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's it. Double attack and then pin. Fork.
So first move is bishop d4, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Attacking both e5 and b2. So white is forced to go knight c4.
Mm-hmm.
And now what? Defending both.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's working, man?
No, now the move is a6, yes? And how do you defend?
Yes. I was thinking c6, knight d6 this whole time.
Yeah, c6 is what everyone was thinking. And now knight d6 check. King f8. This goes into a complicated mess because white is attacking back on f7 with some knight into f7 stuff.
Yeah.
Queen a5 check, there is always bishop d2. But you start with a6. The bishop has only one square to go to a4. And now b5. And one of the pieces is lost. And this is why white couldn't take knight into e5. And
Nice.
instead so this was, I think, quite a deep tactic actually. But I think it was still quite interesting to just explore it because there is.
I think we can also mention Safal's comment. I think that was the other line that we both were discussing, right?
Yeah, c6, bishop c4, and now queen a5. Yeah, but there is always bishop d2 here, and
bishop
if you take
two,
yeah, at the end of this, black hasn't really gained any material. Yeah, he gave up a piece on f2, and then he got back a knight in return. And after knight c3, the maybe this is also dangerous. Yeah, so there's some d5, but maybe bishop c3 and queen f4 check. There is queen f3. So white will end up with the pair of bishops, and the king will have enough time to find a safe place somewhere, I think.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. In the game, white actually accepted this bishop f6 idea just to ruin the pawn structure, and then went for short castle here. That looks a bit dangerous. Yeah, it started with a d4 first.
It looks dangerous for black, right?
Oh yeah, after castle. Yeah, I thought he would not castle. Instead he would just keep the king in the center for a while and play rook g8, d5, bishop h3 ideas.
Now we see your natural instincts coming out, yeah, Keti?
I'm sure she's looking to sack a queen somewhere.
Well, I used to have Soumya and Keti with me in the commentary, and both of them, from any position, any situation, they would always look to try and checkmate. Virtually any situation. And 80 is also kind of like that, so this is the kind of people I get as co-commentators on Chess24 India.
Yeah,
it's always checkmates.
System bonding.
Keti, I don't think it was clear, but this was him being nice. Yeah.
Sorry?
I don't think it was clear, but this was Shri being nice.
That was nice. That's nice.
I'm always nice. Except with AD. To whom also I'm relatively nice.
It's fine.
So
yeah, the question is again, like, this short castle for black is so suspicious. Like, when you have already ruined pawn structure, you are not going there voluntarily, right? Why Wesley Stone made this decision?
So I'll tell you why. According to how I understand things, I think Wesley feels confident going into this short castle position despite the pawns not protecting him, because white does not have a dark square bishop. Oops. Just give me a sec. Yeah, so white does not have a dark square bishop, and because of this, usually, white will put a bishop on h6, try and take advantage of these exposed squares of the king. But since he does not have this, black feels comfortable that he will go some king h8 and play some d5 and rook g8 coming up next. I think black feels comfortable. Black feels confident that he'll be able to defend against this. He has enough time.
Okay, so he might lose like 2 tempi, but the king will be on h8, 2 or 3 tempi, and then he will brought rook g8, and he will still.
Yeah, he actually just starts with f5. Just correcting his pawn structure immediately, right away. And I think Wesley's understanding is bang on here. He really understands the danger well, and here he understands the lack of danger quite accurately. He's able to evaluate these things. I think these are some of the things that really bring out the difference between a top elite GM like Wesley and I think an average grandmaster.
For example.
All of us, yeah.
And now he's pushing f5. He's pushing f5. He wants to get rid of the double pawns.
But with that being said, I will still pick white here for 2 reasons. 1, there is no b3, and 2, there is no g3.
This is another war. This is another war. You just started another war here.
I mean, I was happy for 1 second, and then I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, actually it's a rare position that we don't have none of these pawns in the game. Not happening very often.
None of the 2 pawn moves, yes. It's a bit anti-chess, but okay. Sometimes you've got to play openings like Railopus to keep some variety.
What's the idea now? Queen g5 check or queen h6? Oh, queen h6 is impossible flexible. Because knight is hanging on d4.
Yeah. Queen h6 immediately is impossible, but
knight
you
b3
can usually
first.
Combine it with, exactly. You make a threat first and then you prepare it.
What I mean, he could also play rook d1 and then go queen h6.
To play on the backward pawn on d6.
True. So how does black try and defend here? That is the question, yeah. And let's say I start with something like f into e4, and let's say white takes knight into e4, and then I, being really brave and adventurous, I take bishop into d4, queen into d4, and try and grab a piece like with d5.
You're allowing us to checkmate you nicely, right? After knight f6.
I was just going to ask the chat.
I see what you mean.
Oh my God, again.
What do you mean?
I mean, why do you think I was so
Can
nicely
somebody
walking
mute
into the
me
main?
when there is some chance of a little tactic? Can you please mute me?
You're like Monica Geller from Friends. Yeah, it's like I know. Yes, this is checkmate after knight f6, king g7, knight e8, and there are so many nice.
I would have gone knight h5 just for brilliancy prize.
But knight h5, king g6,
queen g7. That's the brilliancy. Bishop e2.
Right.
g3. Rook e1.
Nice.
Now we're just playing with.
That's
unfortunately,
nice.
black still cannot prevent mate.
Yeah. I mean, the king is on h3. Man. What can you do?
Yeah, there are two checkmates. Yeah, so this is the danger present in the position for black. To illustrate, Hikaru versus Vladislav, the first game ended in a draw, and all all 4 games, the first 4 matches, the first game has ended in a draw. So Queen D2 on the board right now. And speak of the devil, and we have it in the chat.
We have who? Oh my
AD.
God.
So, okay. Adiman is like, should I send my backup?
And he came back to attack people about his course.
Yeah, it's like, there's one person who
Like,
speaks the truth.
Why you don't?
You don't like B3. Here is a server ban for you. Here is a ban from lifetime from my channel.
There is an Adi ban. Okay, that was terrible. That was terrible. Okay, Shri, I have to leave now. It's horrible that at this moment, because just now AD joined, and it feels
I can
quite...
totally understand, Sahaj. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Usually it's the girls who leave when AD comes, but it's still understandable. It's a very universal thing.
Makes sense. Thanks for making me feel better, I guess.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to see you tomorrow.
Oh, get ready for tomorrow.
Yes.
Come back stronger tomorrow.
I have to emotionally prepare myself. And
Good.
yes. All right. I'll see you guys then. Cheers. Good luck. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. See you guys. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
You almost end the stream as well. Saying goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, sometimes I just repeat stuff. Sometimes people go like Happy New Year, and then I just copy paste it. Happy Diwali. It's a festival in India, and I copy paste it. And there was this one time when, sometimes it also happens that people are wishing me happy birthday or congratulations. And there have been times when I almost copy pasted that too. So this was one of those moments, Sahaj was like, see you guys. And I just repeated what he said.
It is saying that when I join, generally only girls leave. What was that?
Okay,
but Sahaj, is he showing that he's a cowboy or what?
No, it's actually a fact. It has happened so many times here in Chess24 India too.
Really?
Yeah. He joins, and then our female guest chooses that exact moment to say, okay guys, it was nice having joined here. Thank you so much. See you again.
No, I'm stronger. I have some backup stories too, so I can be stronger. I'm not going anywhere, AD. Yes, what do you think about this position? I really like this because now Black has to take care of D6 pawn.
And I think AD is here, and this is the exact kind of position where I think AD is one of the best players in the world with an exposed king. This is a position where I would back AD to mate anyone in the world, Magnus Carlsen or whoever. Black's king is really exposed, and White has so many of these pieces looking towards the king. The queen is also set to participate, and the problem for Black, he just does not have enough time to bring his pieces. If he could somehow bring his bishop here, then
G4. Oh my god, that's huge. That's huge.
It's not just AD, Keti. I think you also would, crush a lot of people from this position.
Yeah, I didn't really consider G4 here. That looks really brave. And he has a lot of time here, more than his opponent. The position is fine. The king is exposed. I think Vasliso is a bit,
he's in big trouble.
confused. Yeah.
Like there was this one knight which was near the king. Like there was this one protector of the king, and with g4, he's kicking that out as well. And with knight g7, the bar has skyrocketed because queen h6 is coming, knight f6 is coming, knight g5 is coming. We are in for a little miniature, guys. Amazing.
And here we have queen h6. That was his intentions to kick this queen knight back on g7 and to play queen on h6, and with the idea of knight f6 or knight g5. Is there a way to defend these mating threats?
I don't think so, Keti. I think it's maybe you can try something like bishop at g4 with the idea of bishop f5. This is one of the early defenses that I see. But the problem is white is not just attacking with one knight. Yeah, he's attacking with two knights. So he starts with this bishop f5, and then he can bring in another knight. He can play knight into d6. He can f7 is also hanging.
Knight h7 can be also knight h7, knight f6 idea.
Yeah, this is also winning. So basically, Wesley's whole setup is under fire, completely under fire, and it's dead. Actually, it's game over. Wow.
Advan here in the chat making some damages. Threatening people. The game is over. I think he resigned after bishop f5 and knight d6. Here black resigned because there is a check on f6. Many
what
whites.
A wonderful game, guys. What a wonderful game. Hats
Brilliant
off to Jordan. I'm not wearing a hat, but imagine AD's hat being here. And let's go Jordan Van First OP in the chat. We really have to, I think, appreciate this. Winning in 19 moves against Wesley. So one of the elite players, one of the most solid guys. Even Magnus struggles to beat Wesley So in these matches. And Jordan, the only non-2700 in this knockouts, he did it in just 19 moves with white. What a game. What an absolutely amazing game.
Beautiful.
Jordan, again, he won the Vikanzi in 2021, the Tata Steel Masters. He defeated Anish Giri in the tie breaks. So guys, let's go for it.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I remember when we started, there was some thoughts about the chances for Jordan against Wesley. So was not that high, and here we have winning this beautiful game. So that means that everyone has chance, and these guys are here for a reason, right? Like they are super tricky and super dangerous. And I kind of have feeling like all these top guys are like they prefer to play against the other top guys rather than new who they don't know. Like they don't know what to expect, especially when there is a young person, right? Like it's faster.
Absolutely.
And Jordan, I think he's quite young.
Yeah,
so
Jordan is quite young. Although it's relative, he's not that young if you compare these little babies like Gukesh and Nihal and Prag, 14, 15, and Jordan, I think he's like 21 or
already.
Let me Google it. Chat, you can also let us know Jordan Van for his age, and do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Especially for games like this, to welcome AD or to celebrate AD's departure, which the situation is right now because I've started ignoring the chat.
Departure?
I see AD is full on bullying this one little girl in the chat. So
AD, we have to talk with AD. AD, calm down. Hi, how are you doing, AD? He's fully focused on chat.
Yes, he's fully focused on chat. True. And here the chat does not include you, yeah? AD can...
He didn't say anything about me so far. I'm safe so far. How about h6 here? Is that a move? Just to get rid of these double pawns and the weakness on h5. If it's a weakness, maybe it's not a weakness.
h6, like right now, yeah?
Mm.
Yeah, so this Lee Kwang Alireza game, the Catalan opening, where we left when Lee Kwang was a pawn up earlier. It looks like Lee Kwang has doubled his returns. He has won one more pawn, so he's now 2 pawns up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like investing in the Amazon stock. You know, every time you recheck, it has doubled. Playing Catalan opening is similar. You know.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it.
And I like the suggestion of h6 because apart from getting rid of this pawn weakness, it also exchanges the queen. Yeah, it simplifies the position, which
can be easier for white, like not to have too much of the chances. When queens are on the board and the king, white king is a little bit exposed. For the moment, there's not a problem for this king. There's no piece attacking. But endgame with extra 2 pawns, I think that's just the best scenario.
I'm almost tempted to draw an analogy to marriages in general. You know, the king is happy when the queen is off the board in this position. I'm not implying anything.
Did you just said marriage? Because I was just adjusting my headphones and I didn't really heard you.
No, I was just drawing an analogy to marriage. How the king is happy when the queens go off the board.
Oh my God. I thought you had different opinion about that because of your tweet, I think.
It's not my tweet. It's my friends doing the damage for me. There's this one friend in particular called Kevin Goveme.
Yeah.
Who seems more interested in me getting married than me.
Myself. I know why. He really wants to attend.
I know.
Yeah, say.
He really wants to attend an Indian marriage. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. Me too, if you invite me.
Well, 81st,
yeah.
No, I was going to go for, you know, how misery loves company. So now that he's married, he's trying to push me into it. But okay, h6 on the board and now g6. And Keti, this question is, I think, again, ripe for you to checkmate black's king.
Yeah. So now if white pushes h5, he did not do that. He's going instead 96, just looking for some weaknesses there. If white goes with h5, then rook comes on e6. And it's going to be a bit dangerous because once again, exposed king.
Something like this.
Yeah. So for the moment, white stopped this push on h-file and he went for knight b5. His idea was to just get an exchange. And after knight h7, we have queen g2, just retreating the queen. And rook c8. And king h2.
Because knight d6, there was rook c1 check. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I like king h2 move because now knight d6 is still on the board, and h5 can be now dangerous because the king is not anymore on g file, so there will be no pin on g file.
Right, and he goes king h2, queen f6, and here chat, how would you win as white? Oh, he's played the move. Rook d6, bishop e6. Lee Kwang has done a Keti. Knight c3. No, because here there are so many different ways to win. Yeah, so I think even it's a very nice position for
knight c3. The idea of knight c3 is just to get knight on d5, centralize the knight, because knight on b5 was a bit of the other side of the board. So the knight wants to be in the party, wants to attend the party with knight e5. I think it's still fine here, knight e5, because if you worry that h6 pawn will be gone, that's okay, because knight e7 check will win huge material. That's a whole rook.
True. Absolutely true. And in the game, he just takes h into g5. So, oh, now we can ask chat. After knight into g5, if black takes back, then how does white win here? I think there is more than one way to do it. But I think there is a really nice and attractive way for white. There are at least two ways to do it. Yeah, as far as I can, maybe more than two. But yeah, I think two ways.
Yeah.
2007 Vishnu, he goes bishop h4.
That's nice. It's double pin. There's a pin on g file. There is a pin from h4 to the queen as well. Bishop h4. Oh, we have also rook e6. Yeah, rook e6.
Yeah, sorry. I was distracted by the chat. And Ishan is like, I'll play b3 in this position. You see, Keti, how the society has been spoiled.
And I think it's still winning after b3. The position is so good.
b3.
Even
Actually,
with the sacrifice of the knight or the blunder of the knight.
Is this still winning?
I would not be surprised.
I think I would clip this and put it as a warning, like how they put as the smoking warnings, and illustrate how b3 is injurious to health.
Kills.
And
it kills.
Yes, b3 kills.
Queen g6. He's trying. He wants to play queen h5 check and waiting for some chances.
Yes, maybe king g1 back now, yeah? Like how you played king h2 earlier?
Knight g4, rook e6, knight somewhere. Can I make some check? Knight h. Oh no, I can't do. Yeah.
Just move away, yeah?
Yeah, there's a pin also. I cannot really take the rook. Yeah.
Oh, he just takes rook into e6. Simple but powerful.
Nice.
Catalan versus b3 debate has been settled years ago. It's not even a contest. Anshika Anand. Anshika, don't worry about all the bullying in the chat. Huh? Just stick to what you feel
I'm
is
really
right.
surprised. Like Eddie just appeared. Like he tried to bully chat, like some people in the chat, and he just left without doing greetings. Eddie, what's that?
Yes, but Ishan says AD can never leave. He always lives in his heart. Yeah, but all said and done, action speaks louder than words, and it is Catalan which has scored a win for white here, and that is the truth which no one can deny.
I think you have to start to just collect some statistics. You will do that. I'm sure you will do that at some point. You're just waiting some time to pass, and you will do the statistics.
True. But statistics doesn't work when people blindly believe in things, that is a problem.
All right, how white is going to win this? Queen f5, queen 8, f7. But after queen f5, there is rook f8, like just to survive one more move.
Yeah, true. He has to try and put something on this diagonal, and it's game over. Anything wins here, yeah. Even something like b4 wins here, I think. Although I'm not sure. With yeah, but I think
there can be some ideas like h7, king g7, h8, queen, king takes h8, queen h6, queen h7, and queen f7 checkmate.
You mean after
we have to destruct the rook from 8 rank? Yeah, exactly.
So it's beautiful.
This can be
Yes.
an idea. And also b4 makes sense because white wants to play bishop c5 to control f8 square. So then will be your idea. Queen f5, queen f7.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm normally not a big fan of touching that b pawn, but if you do it, you advance it by 2 squares, like Li Kuang.
Yeah, and we have it on the board. We have it on the board before.
Yeah. Rook 8 and Ali Reza tries to keep fighting, yes, but here how do we finish it off here? Chat.
I mean, like even chat. Okay.
Oh no, you can also go ahead.
Yeah. I have to ask, I think. How about queen f5, queen e6 this end game? It can be winning still.
Yeah, actually, I think it's a very, very, very intelligent suggestion because after rook f6, there is e7.
E7, yes.
And you cannot take this because of e8.
And
He
rook
goes
e6 and bishop
c5.
c5, and then just push the b pawn.
Yeah, the king is like in a bed of arrows. He cannot move anywhere.
Yeah.
The chat loves h7, but h7 is like your special weapon. Yeah, you do it when it's clearly winning, and you try to preserve it when it's completely clear. Bishop c5, queen into d5, and it's still game on. Yeah, I mean, the computer shows a completely winning position for white, but how do you finish this off? It's not completely clear, no?
Yeah, indeed, it's not.
Now there are threats like rook a2 and queen into f3 incoming.
How about queen f5? Just to control this diagonal h3 c8. And
but
king
queen
will
f5,
get on
there is the
h3.
danger of rook a2 check, no?
And king h3 right now?
No, but queen into f3 check.
Oh my god. What I was thinking.
Yeah, this is, you have to defend, you have to pay attention to defense as white now. Yeah, it's become, Ali Reza has managed to create counterplay. These kids, they're very good at finding such. But now, I think queen into f4 wins.
Queen h5?
King g3. Oh,
and just
yeah,
capturing
queen
with the
g6,
check.
and now queen g4. And maybe this is not clear, actually. It's not at all clear.
Yeah.
So he brings this bishop to f6. And if he plays rook a2 check, then there is just king h3. So it's game over. Finally, it's over. Queen e5 played by Ali Reza. I actually thought it's over, but it's still. He still doesn't give up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never over until it's actually over.
Yeah, that's true. How about now he just wants to push the pawn e3 to e1. White is not finding here the checkmate, and he has 35 seconds. I would be panicking right now.
I would also be panicking if I was playing against Ali Reza. And there we have it.
Oh,
wow.
No. The bar dropped. I have no idea why, but bar dropped down. Why is that? Rook a2 check?
Rook a2 check, king h3.
No, maybe queen g5 was an idea. Queen g5 and then e3.
Oh.
Bishop
E3,
f6.
king g2?
King g2. Check.
I catch you easily, yeah? Or maybe you start
Rook
doing
e1. I have rook a1. But I really worry about bishop f6, h7 idea.
Yeah. That was close. That was really, really close. What was a move for black that would have defended the game and stopped white from losing? Sorry, stopped. Now it's over, yeah? G7 and G8 incoming.
Yeah,
G7 check.
Reza just being a bit disappointed and that he expressed that. The checkmate? Yeah.
Yeah, this is coming on the board. This is exactly happening on the board.
Yeah. Can we see that moment once again? Maybe we can find really quickly what was the hope for black.
Oh yes. So,
but
Queen
they
G5
don't
was
they
his
don't have an
moment.
access of on bar, so maybe they didn't even but sometimes like when you make a move, the moment you make a move, you got the idea why it's so wrong.
Yeah. In this case, the idea for black is actually quite simple. He takes, and now rook a6 is the move. This is not easy.
If h7, king g7, bishop h6, king goes back on h8.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this would have broken. But this is incredibly tough to see practically because the entire attention is towards trying to create these checks and try and create counterplay against the king. So
Absolutely.
queen into g5.
And you are not considering queen g5, queen trade. When your opponent offers you queen trade, you trust your opponent and you think that that's not the option for you. So he would not play if it's bad for him. So somehow, of course, at this point, when you have seconds on the clock, you just listen your instincts and this kind of, very fast thoughts that comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's probably not even a blender from a practical perspective, because I don't think many people would have found this queen g5 and rook a6 in 10 seconds in a psychological situation like this. Meanwhile, we have one game going on still, the game between Mamadero against Aronian. And again, Aronian, look at his speed.
Yeah, he has extra 5 minutes. Not so bad. And 2 connected pass pawns on the queen side. Does white has chances for counterplay?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure white has chances for counterplay. One of the pawns to pay attention to is the f7 pawn. So rook d1, rook d7 is incoming. And one of the problems is, I guess, black cannot take this f5 pawn that easily. Yeah, because white has some tactic or another working against the f5 pawn. For example, in this position, I think there's some knight g4 check, king into f5, rook d5 check, king g6, and now knight e5 check. And you also take this, or I think I'm not sure if I'm being accurate, because there's king g7.
No,
there's rook d7
rook
in
d7
there.
now. And there's not knight f4 attacking on g2 because rook f7 loses that knight. Should be fine. So black goes with rook e2. I like this move because it distracts the knight from e5. So it means that there will be not that much tension on f7 pawn.
Right. So knight g4, b5, and just rook d6 now.
Can I play knight f4?
King g3.
And capture on g2. That can be really risky business.
Yeah, I'm somehow trying to...
Something like king f3, f6.
Yeah, king f3, f6. I was also trying to find ideas
so
with checkmate.
Yeah.
Because this knight is so completely out of the game now. But the game has taken a different direction. Yeah, he's not moving this knight at all, but Aronian just goes with his b pawn. Here with black, b3 is actually a good move, because after rook b6, b2, knight f4, knight d3, rook e1 incoming. This is actually big problems to solve for white.
Yeah, that makes white rook to be stick on b file, because the b2 pawn is just about to be promoted. And all black has to do now, just get the knight at the right square. Maybe knight f4 attacking on g2, knight d5 attacking the rook, and knight c3 guarding the pawn on b1. That can be
yes,
for
so many ideas. So many ideas.
Yeah, I like this idea too.
Yeah, it's it's winning for black here, yeah, according to the computer.
Yeah.
Now
Knight
knight
e5.
trying to sacrifice a piece in order to win this b2 pawn. It's a desperate measure by Mehmed, but maybe black does not have to take this pawn back. Maybe he can play something like knight f4.
Yeah.
Oh no, he just takes it.
He just takes. It comes on rook e3 now. Rook f5 was a big blunder after g4. White is getting the piece back and it's draw. There is no check whatsoever. And after rook e3, he just wants to blockade the pawns and then play king on f6 and just get the pawn from f5.
Yeah, pretty effective by Aronian. And now what happens, Keti? Now do you take this pawn or do you move?
I'm not greedy, really. I'm not that greedy.
True. As long as this pawn remains for black, black has all the chances to win.
Absolutely. And also there is another point, like king takes now f5, and if white pushes the with the rook b5 check, king f4, and then knight e4 comes, and there will be some mating threats as well. So white have to be really careful. Like king g1, king g3 idea, and rook has to retreat back on the first rank, otherwise there is a checkmate. And I think this is simply winning. Knight.
Yeah, this could be the direction of the game itself. Yeah, we have come until this rook b5 check, and Aronian has gone king f4.
Yeah,
this seems like the direction of the game.
Yeah, and black's next move, knight e4, is pretty much obvious. Check.
Wow, Keti, you're like an oracle. You predicted exactly what I think. Your team Aronian, yes? Oh yeah, this happened in the last time as well.
I think this is pretty much logical, miss, to be honest. Like this, it comes everything with the check, right?
Yes, but I remember the last time you were also predicting all of Aronian's moves in a completely different position as well. In almost all the times. So I think next time a student of me plays against Aronian, I think I'm just going to invite you for the training.
Okay. Oh, f4. Is he going to? I know what he's going to do. He's going to do knight g5, f3, and he will try to checkmate, like knight h3, rook a2, rook h2, checkmate. Yeah, rook a2, nice. Starting with that. Yeah.
Mamadero has resigned, and that brings an end to the round 2. Jordan Van Forest 1.5 against Wesley. So Vladislav Artemiev, he's even on 1-1 against Hikaru, and Li Kwang Lim and Levon Aronian, they have 1.5 against Alireza Firouzja and Shakriya Mamadero, respectively. The next games have begun. The round 3 has begun, and Wesley So against Jordan Van Forest. This is basically what we were describing at the beginning of this broadcast. Yeah, how my Catalan course is a full 1d4 repertoire. It covers every opening after 1d4, and against the King's Indian Fianchetto, I recommend going with the knight to e2. And guess what Wesley So did? I mean, I don't want to brag too much, but maybe he had a look at some Chessable course during the game break.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Himself, he's also the author of some courses, right?
Yes, he wrote this mega lifetime repertoire on 1e4 with, I think, insane amount of work there. Absolutely amazing, top quality course.
Yeah.
So the point of e3 here, it really keeps the flexibility. Yeah, you can put the knight on e2 or you can put the knight on f3, but you don't have to decide that now. So e3, e5, d5, knight a5, and now just queen to
D3.
d3.
Yeah, willing to trap the knight with the b4 move. Black has to play b6 now. There's no square for the knight to be safe. How about c5 here? Is that works if black goes c5 instead of b6? B6 is pretty much passive.
Yeah, I think c5 is also a very typical way to put your pawns here, but maybe I would have been a bit worried about d6 here, but maybe not. This seems like it controls a very impressive amount of squares, but you do get this bishop out with b6. Yeah. But overall, it still feels like a lot of extra space for white here.
Yeah.
In general. And
after b6, white didn't push actually b4, right? What was his idea?
He did not. He just went e4 because
I think e4 was black's move. If b4.
Oh,
e4,
that's a very nice spot.
With the idea of knight d5 next. Or a c4 pawn is hanging also if queen leaves d3 square.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a pretty nice spot.
Yeah, I think I have lost some games like that with white. I think, not sure. So white goes with e4 just to make sure the center is controlled. This is actually a good example why you should control the center, why we're fighting for the center from the move first. Like if this center is stabilized, then you can start to play on the flanks. And if center is moving and it's not fixed, something like this might appear and it can be really damaging. Like I think after e4 it's just losing for white.
Yeah. After e4 here, just losing for white. There are all kinds of tactics like queen e2. There is, I'm not sure if it's losing for white, but I think it's because after knight into d5, for example, white can just take knight into d5. Yeah.
But why we're sacrificing the knight? Can we just go like somewhere and just attack the?
But then I would just.
And bishop comes on. Yeah.
But it's still very annoying pawn to play. And black gets a lot of pawns in return. And knight into c4, knight into d5, all kinds of ideas in there. But e4 effectively blunted all of it. And then he plays b4 on the next move. So knight b7, knight f3, a5, and now a3. This is also a very nice way to control the knight. Yeah, the pawn or bishop 2 lines apart from the knight. It I think it really.
Oh, Sri, would you like to remind our chat and myself what is the what is the schedule for today? What's the format for today? How many maps they're gonna play?
So this is a quarterfinal, and there are 4 games in one set. So today we are going to say 4 games between each other in all of these 4 quarterfinals, and the winner of today's quarterfinal, he just wins the set, and tomorrow they play another set of 4 games. If the result of those 2 sets become a tie of 1-1, then we have the blitz tiebreaker of 2 games of 5+3. So
just like the other time we had the same format.
Yes, exactly. This is the Champion Chess Tour format in general, and the point of having such a grueling format. So someone cannot win by accident. Yeah, you really have to beat someone and then defend your position. So you win one set, and then you still have to turn up and play 4 games tomorrow and manage to not lose it.
Yeah, that's fair. But how it feels not to have Carlsen here in this tournament, because he's one of the leaders most of the time. And the chat were talking about that. It was quite heartbreaking for Magnus fans. how he was knocked out today by Polish grandmaster. And that's the longest path he made at the World Cup so far, right?
Yes.
As I know.
I don't know about how the chat feels about the absence of Magnus, but I'm sure his opponents are not complaining so much. They had a chance to
survive longer. We know that.
Yeah. But Duda defeated two of the biggest hopes of the tournament. Yeah, I mean the Indian hope Vidit Gujarati and the Norwegian, I mean the global hope Magnus Carlsen. I'm not sure if he's going to either gain a lot of fans or the exact opposite.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I should say that Duda is quite popular here in Poland. He was nominated one of the best sports person among many others champions like Lewandowski, for example. And also Poland has a tennis champion. So there are like top 10 people, and Duda was one of those people, and yeah, he's quite famous in Poland.
Yeah, for good reason. Yeah, I think he's one of the finest chess players in the world. I think he's number 19 in the world, but his rankings is possibly he's probably going to make a jump in September. It would have grown a bit.
Yeah, and because of him, rest of the chess players are under his shadow here in Poland.
Are you including yourself, Keti?
No. It was just a stupid joke. I don't even know why I brought it. But it's worth to mention, like as many other chess players, he became one of those who are quite active in social media. He created Twitter channel, his team actually, and I think also Facebook, and they are doing a lot of public appearance in the TVs and shows. So yeah, that's quite nice. So
absolutely,
he's also showing wonderful. The other side of himself and the what's inside of the champion. So it's quite nice. I don't really understand what he's talking, like at least 99%, but I feel that it's good. It's good for chess.
Because you don't understand Polish?
Not.
Or are the variations too complex or something like that?
Yeah. I think like I know more basic words.
I absolutely agree with you. Chess definitely needs more of that, and chat from you. Chess needs more of the likes, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Get the like button going, and let's get past 150 for starters. That's a good milestone.
How much is that?
We are on 147 now, so it's just 3 more likes. Nice. It's a pretty modest target. Meanwhile, on the board, I think we are. It's still. It's a very technical position. Yeah, everything is blocked. Black has this one weakness, the b6 pawn, which white can try and target with some queen a2, queen a6, knight a4. But not so. That's just one weakness, and usually when you have only one weakness, it's pretty easy to invest all your resources as the defensive side and defend that weakness. So it's not clear to me how white is winning here.
There's knight a5, beautiful source for black, cutting the blocking the file, also attacking c4 pawn. But to be honest, I would really feel comfortable to play with white this, just because of this idea that I can access to the a file. And for instance, if black goes here queen a8 to control a file by himself first, then queen a4 comes, and black has to be really careful for trading the queens because b6 pawn is not guarded now. And yeah, there's not counterplay on c4 pawn either. So that means queen has to leave the A file, and after queen A7, oh, okay. If there, then after queen A6, knight comes on A4. What happens after knight A5 here?
It's actually not so clear. Right? It's turned around.
I think knight queen A6 was too fast to play. Instead of that, maybe knight B3 first to control this square.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then
with the same idea.
Yeah.
That's a bit suspicious what Van Forest is doing here. He played king h7. He is not really trying to guard b6 pawn. Ah, that's what he wants.
Yeah, I think he wants to try and exchange the trade the dark square bishop, which is restricted by his own pawns, and Wesley goes queen a4 anyway after king h7. Doesn't really seem to bother much about the bishop h6 move. Understandably so, yeah, because if the queen comes on a7, then I mean, first you exchange the bishop,
yeah,
and then if the queen comes on a7, I think black should be losing something or another.
Bishop
in a
B.
matter of time.
I just saw bishop c7 and knight d7 resource, but it's not quite a resource because bishop comes on h3 at any moment.
True.
Wow,
And
that's so hard.
It's lost.
It reminds me of the king's Indian position where white managed to, you know, make some play on the queen side that black did not manage to push f5 and did not manage to counterplay on the king side.
Yeah, absolutely. A very typical way to suppress the king's Indian, to tame the king's Indian effectively.
Yeah.
So some problems for Jordan, yes, and Wesley So is down by half, 1.5. So he has to try and win back at least one of the games. And this is his last game with the white pieces. Meanwhile, Ishan in the chat is going like, let's like and subscribe. AD will come back at 200 likes. I'm really not sure if that's a good way to motivate the chat. I mean, if I was chat, then I would be discouraged by that. But okay. Knight a5 and now knight d1 with the idea of bishop into a5. So I think black has to go back knight b7, yeah? Or maybe... no, I think black is really suffering here. Black is really, really suffering. And...
and you can truly resign here, so...
True. You cannot resign here. It's a bit too early. So Wesley So showing his class, immediately striking back. And Wesley So is also like, he's technically very strong. So in these types of positions, he usually doesn't let go. He usually doesn't allow his opponent to defend and survive. He's usually just too strong. So it's like Van Forest is caught by a python.
Okay, here's a tricky question. Chat, be ready. If I play this myself with white pieces, what is the chances for me to win against Van Forest?
Interesting.
Maybe come on, man! Why you were thinking so much?
Because they need a 15 second, yeah. After you ask. They hear it only after 15 seconds, but it still seems like they're not.
It was a question to you. You don't have delay.
You're asking to me. I thought you were asking the chat.
I asked chat to be aware of your response.
I would say 100%.
Oh, okay.
Of course, 100%. But I wanted a chat to answer it. You know, that's why I was waiting.
Okay.
And it looks like only Sente and me have trust in you. So I don't know what to say about this chat. They're all AD fanboys, spoiled by this one B3. It's become like a drug now.
Yeah. Okay. That's a bit sad. But how about F3 here? Like, can White play this move and continue the plan?
Yeah, I think F3 is totally possible. And against F3, maybe Black intends knight into E4.
But
This is his idea.
knight is guarded, no?
Yes, but try and take like 2 pawns.
Just to mess the things.
Yeah, to make things inconvenient for you.
Yeah, it's true.
So this is also losing for Black, but at least you...
Yeah, I think that's the best practical chance.
He just goes back bishop c8. F3 was played and he went back bishop c8. So far you're predicting White's moves correctly. So how does White continue now?
Well, White can win a pawn right now. Bishop a5, b8, knight b3. The question is if White wants to activate, let the Black bishop be activated after bishop h6.
Yeah, I think that's a question White has to solve. But in general, you do want to take this pawn sooner or later, because without that, you cannot really break through in this position. But the advantage is you don't have to do this immediately, because it's still such a huge advantage. But honestly speaking, I think I would just take this and go knight b3. It's the simplest way to.
Yeah, I like that too.
And then queen goes to a5, and then this b pawn is so close to the queening square. That's what happens when you start with b4, b5. B3 is just too slow. So yeah, f3, bishop c8, and I think bishop into a5 should be done sooner or later.
Yeah,
I think Wesley was just completely winning here, and he will probably what?
Knight b3. Oh wow.
What?
Like what is really his idea after knights are off the board?
I don't like this move at all. Why would he do that? He thinks queen a4.
Maybe. For instance, now bishop e7 controls a8 square fully, like queen a4, queen a8. And if queens are off the board, let's say queen takes, bishop takes, and knight c3, willing to get on a4, that's okay, that's also working. After knight d7, there is a bishop h3, really unpleasant move.
Yes, this might lose the b6 pawn, but I like what Jordan did. Jordan just after takes, he just played bishop h6, a very strong strategic move, getting rid of the dark square bishop. And now after takes, queen e3 check, king g7, queen e3. This is the position we have on the board right now. And here it's a lot easier to defend as Black, because there is like only one entry point. You have to only defend against one threat. And although the position is still so much better for White, practically, I think Black's defensive chances has increased by a huge margin because of this. And I really didn't see why Wesley had to go for this, because he was, I think, just winning a pawn with no difficulty at all.
Yeah, I think so. But what he's really hoping is this idea that knight can come on c3 and then a4, and Black has only one chance to guard the pawn, that's knight d7. And White in this case is really hoping for bishop h3.
Right. But Jordan, he prepares to get counterplay with something like g5 to try and play against White's king. So Wesley immediately goes queen a8 with the immediate threat of bishop h3. So now Black has to probably move his queen somewhere queen d7 or queen c7 maybe.
Queen c7,
But
I guess.
that's not ideal, yeah. Then to get this counterplay.
Yeah. How about knight c3 here?
Yeah, knight c3 and you go knight a4 and then queen
Yeah,
c6.
queen c6. Yeah.
But yeah, he has started with queen c7, knight c3 likely to come on the board, and maybe here Jordan might play g5.
Yeah, g5 can be captured, I guess. Knight takes and then knight c6. Queen c6, sorry.
Yeah, and then you come in with knight a4. I really
Yeah.
don't like this with, but maybe I can continue on queen d8.
And knight a4. I think
Now
the
something like-
the bishop on state is really bad piece. After g4, or not even, no, knight b6, knight b6.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for. So now I exchange off this bishop. This can get a bit dangerous for.
How about
white,
g4
yeah.
then instead of capturing?
Yeah, but g4, then I have h3, no?
Bishop comes on h1.
And then maybe I'll try and create threats on the dark squares, not even caring about this bishop. Or maybe I can insert some bishop at a g4 because I'm going to give it up anyway.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what Jordan's counterplay plan is, yeah, with g5. So you, as white, I think you might want to be very careful in to what extent you're going to allow black onto your king side, which is what probably Wesley is calculating in this position.
Yeah. How about just ignore this g5 pawn and play here queen c6?
Yeah. So we saw the idea with head g, knight g5,
Yeah.
and now
So the knight was really active and it created so much danger for white. In this case, queen goes on d8 probably the same way.
Yeah,
and
the same
knight
way.
a4.
Knight a4 and now g into h4.
And now takes on b6 and the bishop on c8 is hanging.
Yes, but also I think black can ignore this and take head g because you cannot capture with the queen, then you lose the b6 knight. If you capture with the knight, then after queen g5, there are some very dangerous threats against the king.
Yeah, that's nice.
So Wesley just goes knight f2. He doesn't immediately take the pawn. And what's the idea of knight f2? What if g5 now?
Wow, knight f5, that's kind of defensive move. He feels that.
Yeah. He just keeps things under control here. Yeah. And knight f6, king h2. But it clearly seems like Wesley has gone wrong somewhere, no?
Yeah, he missed this momentum. Like he had an options, right? He had several options and he decided to keep the dark square bishop, which is quite logical as well, like not to give so much of the weaknesses on the dark squares. But Van Forest is fighting a lot. He's finding brilliant defensive ideas.
Yeah, I quite like this bishop d7 move as well. And one of the ways for black to continue would be to go something like knight e8 and queen c8 and try and get the queen out of this a8, a7 zones.
And the knight will get from c7 to a8, and there's no way bishop will attack this knight.
Yes,
and the knight will guard b6 pawn forever.
Exactly. As
nice.
I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but if it works, it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knight d3, he goes knight h7. I guess Wesley might want to try and break with f4 at some point. Yeah.
Nice idea.
Yeah, I think he might want to try and break with f4, but this really weakens the g4 square. So how he tries to implement it, it's not clear.
Maybe knight f6, knight g4.
Yeah, exactly.
Immediately.
Knight f6, bishop f3. But this is full counterplay.
Yeah, bishop g4. If you don't trade, then bishop e2. That can be really scary.
Yes. I think the game has changed. The Jordan is doing. So he played knight f6 and knight f2 played by Wesley. And I think he can maybe, I don't know. Knight g4 check looks interesting, but maybe you want to take it first and then play knight g4. Doesn't even feel like white is.
I would not really take that because after queen a4, queen a1 check, then is e5, and white might have some center. But yeah, it's okay. Like, still not maybe a big deal. But yeah, if we play knight g4 here immediately, how white is really going to prove that this is still winning?
But here you allow this d passer, yeah?
Yeah.
And maybe some queen c6 now.
And after taking, it's bad. King f6. F8.
It might not be a bad.
Oh, you have 2 pawns. Okay. D6 can be also.
Yes, but if you're able to block this both, I don't think you're in any danger.
So after d6, there is king e6, right?
Yes. And after d7, there's king e7.
How about c7? How about c7 there? Yeah, d6. I mean d6.
King e6, c7, yes, and king d7. No, you can just take.
And bishop h. Bishop h. We have to play some more bishop h's. Really. Maybe c7 immediately. Yeah, c7 without d6.
Yeah, c7 without d6, but now king e7.
And now bishop h3.
King d7.
Take the bishop, d6.
Yes, but I think black might win. No.
Oh, there's a piece, yeah.
So
I think it's
I think
fine.
black wins this.
Yeah, it's fine. King comes on c6.
Wow. Yeah, black wins this.
Yeah, king is too far.
Yep.
Yeah. Outside
the game kind of went like how you imagined, Keti. Queen a1 happened, and white has the center with e5. And black is, I think, under some pressure here. He has to. So for white, the problem is his king is a bit exposed now.
Absolutely.
But it still feels like a great position for white. e6 check, knight f6, knight e4.
Yeah. And he's also struggling on the time. It's quite hard to find the best defensive moves here when you have seconds against 4 minutes of Wesley. So reserved a lot of time on the clock. Maybe queen e5 here just to pin the knight forever and push d6.
Sorry, how?
Yeah, knight e4. I wanted to play queen e5 first just to control the
control the board. Yeah,
if you take the pawn, then d6 and knight e4.
Yeah, I think this also works.
With the idea of d7, queen f6 next move. I don't think black can stop that.
And he's going e6 check, queen f6. And here I think white is just winning a piece. No, I actually don't understand why the computer is so optimistic for black. What if I just take e into d7?
That's funny.
What am I missing? Oh, okay, I understand. So queen into a1.
Yeah.
Queen, and now queen e5 check. The king has to go to h1 or g1.
Yeah.
And now after queen e1 check,
bishop.
Black wins this piece.
Bishop.
Oh, yeah, there's just bishop f1.
Bishop e2.
Yeah, bishop e2.
And there is queen is just at the wrong place.
Yeah, you can't even defend the f2 knight.
There's no check.
After queen into f1. So this is exactly why Wesley goes queen into f6 check here, knight into f6, and now e7, just advancing his pawns. Knight e8 played by Jordan, trying to keep these pawns under control, but just d6 with the idea of knight into d6 and now bishop c6. But don't you think black gets a lot of pawns in return for the piece? Or do you plan to take knight into g4 first?
Oh yeah, and bishop, yeah. That's okay, I guess, as long as there are pawns on the queen side.
Yeah, it looks winning for black. Sorry, for white.
What?
But you still maybe have some worries here. Like let's say I come after the hedge pawn, the queen takes.
That's why we don't really go to push a pawn, right? Like for example, king g3, king f4 can be also just.
So king g3, I want to come king h5. So this is
and
exactly
how
what is
about
happening.
king f4 here?
So I have to play f6.
And now queening.
Yes. Takes. And king into h4.
Yeah.
Bishop into g6.
Bishop p4. And with the idea king to collect the pawns, king f5. That endgame should be.
This is a
lost.
very touch and go. Yeah. It's really.
Is it?
Yeah, because black also starts coming to take your pawns.
Oh yeah, I think it was a drawish in the end.
Yeah, it's not actually clear, but the live game has moved on a bit. And at this point, Jordan played f4, which I think was a mistake because he had to keep these pawns on f5 and g4 and go with his king. Yeah. Now the problem is this bishop just goes to g4 and g5, he just plays h5.
Even if you take 3 here and the king comes on g5, after king f4, bishop just moves and there is a maybe bishop c8, for example. So black has no move but to give up.
No, but then you're not threatening the pawn. No, I play king f6.
And now bishop. Oh. Yeah.
This gets a bit risky.
Yeah, I wanted to be really smart, but I looked stupid in the end.
Yeah, I think bishop x3 was the only move. King h4, you have to play. How do you win this? Bishop g2, king g5, and now just king e4, I guess.
Bishop f3 or?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, but let's just watch what Wesley is doing. Yeah, I think it should be.
We have actually.
Oh yeah. This is simple. He just puts his bishop on e4, and now it just. Yeah. So Wesley strikes back.
Yeah, he just won.
And it's 1.5 in the matchup between Jordan Van Forest against Wesley. So the other interesting game which seems to be heating up is between Hikaru against Artemiev, where it's tied 1-1 at the moment after 2 games. But in the third game, it looks like Hikaru is once again dominating against Artemiev. And I think so far Hikaru hasn't really won any of the champion chess tournaments, right? At least he didn't win any of the majors. And I think it's been a really long time since he won an event.
Yeah, what I remember is that he lost in the final against Magnus. That I remember.
Yes, one of the finals he lost against Magnus, and I guess he wouldn't be complaining that Magnus isn't playing here. He's one of the guys who wouldn't complain. And although he hasn't won a tournament, he has been really, really consistent in most of the champion chess tour events, consistently making the knockouts. And at this point, it looks like he's a firm favorite in this match against Artemiev.
Mhm.
G4 with the idea of F5 and possible mate on this diagonal. Looks very tricky for black to defend. Something like bishop into b4 shouldn't really be too helpful for black. Yeah, shouldn't, or does it?
I would really sacrifice the exchange here. Rook b4, and then f5. As
This is
they are not
beautiful.
my pieces.
No, but I think even if it were, this would work really well. Rook into b4 is brilliant. So he goes queen c8, stopping f5, and now queen f3. Artemiev is one of these guys who is really hard to defeat from any position. He really wrestles. He's quite tricky. He's very resilient in his defense. And he starts with queen c8, queen f3, and now takes bishop into b4. So what's the difference? What if we do the same idea?
What comes to my mind, maybe queen f3 was played because to control a8 square is that something that he's counting on? Like after bishop takes b4, maybe just trade the pieces on b4 and then rook e8 in the end. Black has to retreat the rook back on b8, and after that just to trade and push f5. Does that make sense to change so many pieces?
Honestly speaking, I would hesitate to do that as white, because essentially I want to try and keep this bishop on.
Rook b4 is on the board. That's
Exactly,
cool.
exactly.
That's cool. So happy. So happy. That's cool.
No, but Keti, I think your suggestion was really strong. But here, queen c5 check might be an important move, which was not previously possible.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of difference because it allows black to play bishop d5 after f5. So, when we were discussing this, I think rook into b4 was deadly, really strong, brilliant. But that's why Artemiev started with queen c8, provoking queen f3, and now he went rook into b4. I think this was a brilliant play by Artemiev. Sorry, he went bishop into b4 now. And now after rook into b4, queen c5 check is, I think, a very important intermezzo, which can help black defend the position.
So you say that after king h2, black will capture the rook and f5 will be met by bishop d5.
Exactly. So the question for Artemiev is when he wants to insert. So he can either play queen c5 check right now, or he can do this after f5 queen c5 check. So he preferred to play rook into b4 first, and Hikaru didn't really play f5. Instead, he just played bishop into b4 very quickly, and we reached this position in the game, which was also suggested by you.
Yeah. Predictions. I think I got some sort of skills.
Yeah, I think you should really start forecasting
Earn
the
some
future.
money with it. Fortune teller.
So when do you think the COVID will disappear from the world?
Yeah, they're like fortune tellers with the cards, and and I will be with the chess pieces. Yeah,
that's a good idea. Here, would you just take queen into e5?
But what happens if I take the bishop? You think that it's not enough, right?
Yeah, because it's the wrong color, but you still have the queen. So queen a7 check and queen a2, is it his idea? But then there's queen g2 check.
Yeah.
Bishop c8. I'm not sure about this. F6 maybe? This looks very...
Queen a2 anyway. Queen g2, king goes on f8, queen g7,
but the problem
king
is,
e8.
I take everything with check, yeah?
Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah, and then after this, queen g6 defends the c2 bishop. No, I think f6 is winning for white. Maybe f6 you can go king f8. So after queen g2, there is
How about
no.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about bishop h7 idea, but it's not really working because queen takes c5 is with a check, and white king has not enough places to hide.
Yes. Artemia is such a strong defender, and he's very good with these short variations. Also has fantastic feeling for where he wants to put his pieces. So with bishop b7, he'll be controlling these two diagonals simultaneously. And I think that's a very interesting way to defend. Although the computer evaluation bar seems to show a big spike for white, it's clear looking at Hikaru that at least there is no straightforward way to win this. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's this case like after f6, king f8, and queen g2. We made queen d4 move, right? So there is the ideas with queen g7 check, and when king goes on e8, there is a bishop a4 additional resource for white.
Yeah.
And queen f8 now.
And then
queen
finally you
captures
take
the
this with
pawn.
check. Yeah. If I go king d6. The problem for white, black only needs this one check to force a perpetual, but white can even get mated here. That is the. So he goes f6 and king f8
we have it
instantly.
on the board. We have it on the board.
And both the players are down to 20 seconds. This is going to be bishop e4 played by Hikaru. Bishop e4, and for black, I think he has to really try and attack the e5 pawn somehow. He can go queen d4. He can go. What else can he go apart from queen d4? I really like queen d4, but it allows some queen a3 check. So he starts with queen a2 check, not allowing that. King g3 and queen a1, not allowing white to play queen a3 at all.
Yeah.
And
there's no threat so far here for black. Now he wants to capture, but there is some checks.
Yes, there are checks. There are checks, and maybe it's going to be a perpetual after this.
Can be, really, maybe can be.
Just goes king h2. Queen e2 check. Now there's bishop g2.
Is there bishop b7? Any strong? After queen h6 check, king goes on e8.
Queen h8, king d7, yeah?
Yes.
Nice.
And
yeah, so Hikaru doesn't go bishop
then you
g2.
just take on g2, and c4 pawn is so strong. You can't really stop. Yeah.
So this is the position we have on the board right now. They are repeated a couple of times. Bishop g2 is the variation we are looking at, which can risk losing for white. So Hikaru wisely decides against it. And
can you read what he's talking? Oh, we have a person in the chat from USA. Maybe you can read. Oh no, the game ended already. I don't know, Srinath, what you think about Artemiev about this point, but I kind of have a feeling that because of online chess and because of this pandemic time, we know him more. We know him better. Like he had more tournaments to show all his skills and resources and his, character rather than over the board chess. Because, you can't really travel. He has a family. He has a little kid. And he's from Russia. You have to play in Russia, win the tournament among the best players, and then you have to get the right to play. It's not like this that you can simply go, right? We know that. We both know that. Indians, Georgians, we know that how big is the competition. Yes. And second part is how a person feels, how comfortable it is for a person to travel, especially when you have a family and little kid. And
this I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either if I can be an issue. I don't know. But the thing is that at online chess, we saw him, like, he shows more than in the overboard. I don't know, just have this kind of feeling.
No, yes, I agree with what you're saying. But also another factor is Artemio is, I think, significantly stronger in speed chess. When the time gets lesser in rapid and blitz, he's that much stronger. And in classical chess also, he's incredibly strong. But one of the problems he has at the highest level is his opening preparation. So he has a very interesting opening preparation. He has his own setups. But against the absolute best, against the absolute elite, it can quite often face problems. With white, he has this really simple strategic setups, and with black, a lot of times the openings that he plays, the computer allows it for white. Against lower rated grandmasters, he manages to just outplay them with a superior strategic understanding of those particular setups, as well as chess in general. But against people about 2750, against the absolute elite, I think he struggles a bit more in classical chess. But in
and we're talking about a lot of seconds and a lot of strong engines that top grandmasters are using, and it's I don't even know the names of the engines, but I know that they exist. Sri, you have a question in the chat, and that's also I really wonder, like, after such a long trip, and the tournament also, it was quite tough tournament. You had so many things to worry there as a coach. Like, are you tired? How do you feel after all?
I'm very tired, actually. It was, I think, 3 weeks in Sochi, and towards the end, I had only one face to look at with its face. So you can imagine how all the more tiring it got for me. And the trip from Sochi to Chennai, it was the flight from Moscow to Delhi had a 13-hour delay. So me and Vidit, we were just strolling along casually, looking at our phones and talking to people, talking amongst ourselves. And we did not even look at the boarding pass. So our flight from Moscow to Delhi, it was scheduled to be at 1:55 at night. And we were just walking along, and there were some people shouting at the airline counter. And we were, merrily discussing what the problem could be. Why are people getting so emotional over small things and stuff like that? We go through the passport control, security, and then we look at the monitor, and our flight simply not listed.
Oh my God.
And then we realized, oh, okay, now it all adds up. It all makes sense why people were getting emotional. It's because the flight had been delayed by 13 hours. And it was there in our boarding pass. The flight was supposed to depart at 3 p.m. now instead of 1:55 a.m. And people were just asking for hotels.
Yeah, and they didn't provide a hotel?
No, they did provide the hotel. But then we walked back all the way. Then we had to get the stamp on our passport cancelled, and get back all the way to the security check, go to the Aeroflot counter, and then we had to wait till 2 o'clock to get our hotels because of regulations. The takeoff of the flight was scheduled at 1:55, so they couldn't give us hotel before that time. And then we waited till 2 o'clock. And also the rule for RT-PCR negative, it has to be 72 hours before.
Yeah.
And our RT-PCR was on 29th, and we were landing on 1st August. But with a 13-hour delay, now there was a chance that we could land on 2nd August. And that's more than 72 hours.
Oh my God.
So
but
then we had...
do you consider yourself lucky that you were traveling with it instead of Adiman? In that circumstances?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's always a positive.
It could be
Look at
worse,
everything.
that's my point. It could be worse.
It can always be worse.
Is he gone, right? He's gone for a while. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. Although I wouldn't put it past his Discord members to clip it and ship it to him.
Yeah,
So
I think
then we
one
went
day
to the
I'd even just
counter.
unfriend me and will block me. That's what I'm really aiming for.
God,
That's what
this is
I will
gold.
get in the end. Yeah, and he will
Well,
ask me to return that earrings that he gave me. That's gonna be my end. That's gonna be my end.
I'm loving this. Now
Okay,
the
now
chat
I
is
know
going like just
why I'm invited here for this tournament. Okay, makes sense now.
No, it's a pity. It's a pity that AD is still not continuing in this tournament, because I was really looking forward to that. I much rather prefer AD's video on the screen with him not talking than, him coming beside me and talking his B3 nonsense.
That's true. Him without talking, that's not easy.
Yeah, I think him without talking, it's nice. Him without B3 is also nice. But
okay, the thing is that he has something to fight back against you, but he doesn't have anything against me. Like, I don't really created any opening course or something, so he's just avoiding me. Oh, hold on, can I play Queen e5 now and capture the pawn on b2?
Yeah, I was also wondering about the same thing. It looks like Aronian is going to take this first set 2.5. We might have the first winner, because if he takes this pawn, then this just queens with check. Sorry, it just queens. Yeah, it queens with check. So black has to play king a4 here, and after queen into b2,
there will be stalemate. Oh God! Oh my
God! Yes, there will be still queen f7 check.
I'm ruining everything.
This is beautiful. I think this is what Shaq is aiming for. But maybe I start with queen f5 check.
What's the difference? Like after king a4,
and now I go queen c2 check.
King a3.
Yeah, queen f1 check.
It's also lost. It's lost. It was lost anyway.
Lost.
Because there are two pawns and can be easily, like, for example, after g8, if black tries to trade the queens and to play with the two pass pawns here, this is easily lost. Is it?
Yes, this is lost in white to play and mate in 2. Maybe now we can ask chat.
Okay, I don't see any mate, so I'll be just quiet.
It's mate in 3.
Really?
It's mate in 4 actually, to be precise. If we allow black to give up both his queens, white to play and mate in 4. But I think chat really needs to find only one more here. Chat, guys, are you still awake? If you're awake, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's get it past 200. And also here's your chance to shine. Find mate for white. How does white checkmate here? Are you guys seeing it? If you aren't, or if you're already asleep, then good. I think we really need to get back to AD stories to wake them up.
Oh, guys, no, I don't. Keti is not stopping. I really like ID a lot, and his B3 crazy course is also Nice.
Yeah,
He is
we
very
all
nice
do.
person. He is really, really nice person. That's why we're joking about him. Yeah.
There is this thing, the more we love a person, the more we tease them.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely true. We love him way too much, maybe.
Absolutely. Although this argument doesn't work with girlfriends and wives, from what I've observed.
Why you were
They
getting
don't
back
like to get
again this
teased.
topic? Like you were really getting me confused when you're like, I don't know. You were different from you came back different person from Sochi.
No. I'm just maybe I've just become bolder with the truth. Maybe.
Oh, I was
But
just considering Queen C3 check. That's how good I am. But it's impossible. If you guys also think it's just impossible, don't waste your time. No one really thinks about Queen C3. So yeah.
yes, but a lot of people did find in the chat Namit Bir Singh, starting from him, and Anshika, Rajesh, Vineet Kumar, Harsh Kumar. Yeah, I think Queen F8 wins because Queen B4 is the only way to block it without giving up your queen. And now after Queen F3 check, you're mated, yeah.
Yeah.
And in the live game also, I think Aronian is winning because here also White has a clear cut. Oh, okay. He's thinking about Queen A2, King B4.
But it's check.
Oh, it's a check.
I should not told you. I was wondering how long you would kind of try to play Queen A2.
Well, thankfully, the system won't let me make this move. So
Yeah, is it like second win for Aronian if he managed to convert this?
yes, then he would win the first set, and they won't even play the fourth game.
Oh wow! He might want to get the second title at this tournament, at this circle.
Yeah, Abhijit Gupta in the chat, he's like, it's that time of the day. True, it's that time of the day when people even put their king near the opponent's king.
Greetings to Abhijit Gupta.
Do you think Vidit is lucky to be playing in online chess, considering that online doesn't allow you to make illegal moves?
Yeah. True.
Oh yeah, talking about Vidit, yeah, I mean, then like we went to get the hotel at like 2 a.m. and we ended up choosing a queue, which turned out to be the longest. So we started get the queue, the line
queue.
for the hotel.
Yeah.
The counters, like there was like 3 counters, and we went into the counter at like 1:40, and we got our hotel at 3:30.
Oh wow!
We got the hotel coupon at 3:30, and then we went to the hotel, and it was just 2 nights like this, Moscow and Delhi, without any sleep.
Wait, 2 nights? 2.
So one night we had to spend in Moscow, sleeping at 4 and waking up at 7 and getting back.
What the like? Why does it even make sense? Like, yeah, why they're doing this thing so slow? Like, you went for 4 hours?
No, I mean, what I'm saying is we just got like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
I prefer that. Okay, nowadays I think they're not lounges at the airport, as I know. But I prefer to stay at the airport at least. Like I would not be traveling and I will just, have some comfortable chair, some food and internet. So.
True.
Was some years where I was spending my New Year Eves, so I know quite well. Right after coming back from World Rapid and Blitz, it was always day states, when I was at the
Yeah,
airport.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's always between Christmas and the New
Yeah.
Year. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. But no matter how tired you get, when you come back to your chat, I think they really energize you, because they're like the most cheerful set of people that you can experience.
That's true. That's true. That's really true. That's what also I experience with our channel, and it's also very nice to be here. And these people are just amazing.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I think that's one of the best things that COVID gave to us, just to have this connection and these people. And that can be
Yes.
actually forever. It can be lifetime connections with the people. This is really
True,
fun.
because a lot of these people in the chat, mostly they're kids, 14, 15, still too young to understand the consequences of 1B3 and stuff. So they're going to be around.
Okay, I didn't know that was coming. Okay. The question is how white is going to hide the king.
Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, I didn't have an answer to the question. That's why I kept talking about other things outside of chess. It's the computer shows a full white bar, but I don't see. Like, I think there's something really beautiful here. But so what if I go king f5 now?
Can I?
You can just queen, yeah? Oh, no. Yeah, because after queen e8 check, you have queen b5 check. And if I go queen c4
yeah, and we managed to lose this game.
Well, no surprises there, considering it's me who's making moves with white. But queen c4 check. This, I think, is winning for white. Or maybe not.
How about queen b4?
Yeah, this queen is important, yeah, because this queen, there's queen e2 check, which results in mate.
Yeah.
This queen, on the other hand, and you cannot get out of this pin. Or, yeah, this seems...
It's interesting. Instead, Aronian went back on F file. Is he going to get on G7 H8?
But
yeah,
maybe
it.
Yes.
That's it, I guess.
Queen G1 check.
King H8.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's the point? Like, if after Queen H2 here, you're not going to do that. No, my point was Queen H7 just to double. Not that one.
Okay. Oh yeah, sorry.
My point was just to have double control on B1 square, and then to try somehow to centralize the king, and then queen trade will be fine for white.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Double protection. That's exact. Oh, again you managed to predict exactly what Aronian was going to do.
I don't know. Let's see which queen comes on H7. I also like the other queen.
No, the other queen is just draw.
Queen E5.
Yeah, this is a draw even without these pawns, because this cannot be escaped.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. This is one of the
beautiful
earliest endgames I learned.
So if you are queen down, you can hold this position, right? This
you can hold this position even without the pawns, and as long as your king doesn't get in the pin. So he's done exactly what you suggested, Keti. He's taken control of b1, and now he just has to find a way to escape the endless sequence of checks. But as you mentioned, the king comes to the center, so he can meet one of these checks with queen c4, and that should seal the deal for white.
And the point is just to, after the queen trades, there will be no big b1 queen. So white is controlling.
Yeah, exactly. There's no stalemate tricks.
Yeah. In Georgian, we have this kind of phrasal word. Says that if you listen to women, it either makes you very strong, superior, or it like destroys you fully. Like we have this kind of strong words. So let's see what I'm doing to Aronian with these ideas.
I think so far it's going well for him, especially in this champion chess tour, you know. In hindsight, maybe I made a mistake by inviting you during the Aronian Arjun Erigazi match. Maybe Arjun would have won if he didn't get that support.
But he did an amazing job, and I'm sure that he will get second chance to have this kind of situation when he's going to fight against the top grandmaster.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aronian is such a nice player to watch. Yeah, his games are always interesting.
Yeah, I still don't believe that you put him on the first board against our sub battle. Like, this is insane. Like, this is insane. You bought a guy at the sub battle. Like, we were people just vibing. you brought it super grandmaster. Like, he's making other grandmasters cry. Man.
I was expecting Hikaru. I had to prepare against Hikaru. You know, and you know, when Samay does his sub battles against the best, the most watched streamers on Twitch, they usually bring in Hikaru. It's actually not they. There was this one sub battle when Hikaru himself was playing against Samay, and Hikaru was on first board. So then Samay brought in Nihal. And Nihal was actually winning in that game.
Nice. And our guys were like, our Indian guys were like asking me, Keti, is this grandmaster? And I was like really busy to set up my layout. And I was like, what? Who? Like, I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I would never thought you would brought a grandmaster in our sub battle.
Well, it had to be him or me. Ooh, look at this. Look at what's happening on the board.
Nice. Look at his face. Like, take it. Take it. But of course, Aronian is not buying that.
No, that's not.
He's coming to C1, I guess. He's coming to C1.
And then Queen C2 check, yeah?
Queen D3 here makes sense.
I would be a bit... yeah, I think we need to make sense.
You're right. So like Queen D3 is sort of like a stalemate net.
Yeah, King G2 and he's resigned. This was such a beautiful endgame. Wow. And Aronian makes it, he wins the first set of the quarterfinal. So tomorrow they play another 4 games. And if Shaq does not manage to win in those set of 4 games, then Aronian is through to the semifinal. But this was such a brilliant endgame, such a beautiful endgame. And chat, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's get it past 200.
Yep. It's going to be more stories about, you know, that guy, B3 guy. Let others also hear about it. Don't be greedy. It's not only for, it can be for small audience, can be more people, right, to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not justice for AD if we do it for small audience. Meanwhile, we are back to this Van Forest Jordan against Wesley So, which is tied at 1.5.
I'm pretty confused because these games are starting like different time. This is 4th game, is it?
Yes, this is the 4th game, and there is a 15-minute break between each game. So if, for example, Jordan finishes his game 3, then after 15 minutes, the game 4 of Jordan against Wesley So starts. but all the games don't start at the same time.
There's a comment, Keti is obsessed with AD. Like, really? I'm more obsessed at 3? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. At least between the two of us, it's not you who's obsessed with AD. Yeah, so yeah, during our sub battle, I mean, there's this kid called Ishan who is a real living version of. Do you know this term called drama queen?
Drama queen?
Yeah.
What
Like,
about drama queen?
So this guy, this kid Ishan in the chat, he's the living embodiment of the term drama queen. Drama queen, what they do, like there are these small things which they exaggerate it to a big way.
Trey, you are talking to the one of the biggest drama queens over here. You are explaining me that.
Yes, but I don't think you can beat Ishan in that. I think Ishan is like the world champion of drama queen.
I'm a woman. A man can be a bigger drama queen.
Well,
He's a man, right?
Yeah, he's a boy. He's a child. He's just 17 years old, but I look at him more like a 7-year-old kid. But I mean, normally you would think, yeah, a woman would have a big advantage here, but he's a prodigy like Nihal is in chess.
Okay, now I understand. Like he wrote so much broken hearts in the chat. Yeah.
Yes, basically he started his life crying in the hospital, and since then he has been doing it every 30 minutes in his life. Most of it fake.
I see. So what about this position?
This position, I can't help but look for checkmates on the board. But the problem for black is this rook on h4 is really out of the game. Yeah, really out of the game. And
but there is queen g3 coming, and because of the pin, it's impossible to capture. And there can be some checkmating here after that move if white is not really careful.
Absolutely true. So they're like in this sudden death fight where one misstep can lead to death. Yeah, Ishan, that's like the 500th time that he's been
Keti versus Ishan,
really
drama queen knockout. I think I still have best of the chances, like after so many years of experience. And
I think I'd see a checkmate, by the way. So let's say I take this.
You do. I have to capture that with the queen.
Yes, because this is checkmate in one. You capture with the queen. Mm-hmm. Now I go queen e6 check.
King goes on h8.
Yes. And now I just play queen e8.
I see your point. Can I capture the pawn on f2?
Yes, but I just ignore it and go king g2.
And now bishop a c5 like saves my one move.
Bishop c5. I missed
well, I'm not really sure. It's still not the best situation for black.
True. But maybe this is not as straightforward as I thought. Jordan, meanwhile, he played bishop f5, g6 on the board. it really looks like there should be some way for the game to end very quickly.
I can't believe Srinath was explaining the meaning of the drama queen to Keti. Actually, I was a bit confused because I thought it was something different, or you had your own, ideas, like you and your chat. And I was just listening, and I didn't really understand why you were explaining me. I really thought it was something special, like that your people and you know about it all.
Ishan is special to us, of course.
It's representative in that field. White G6 is not a weakness.
I think he had to open up space for his king. Yeah, he had to create that, because otherwise the king was getting suffocated and mated. And now it's actually not that easy or straightforward for white to find a way to win. The computer shows a very big spike for white, but if you had to think about it without the computer, I don't think it's straightforward how it's done. So takes queen e6 check, king h8.
Queen takes g6.
Yeah, no, queen f7 is, I think, the move.
Still bishop takes g6. But okay, now we have opposite color bishop and not much pieces on the board. It's not the best.
Yeah, and it's equal pawns. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
And I think this black can make a draw, because these pawns are not advancing. Yeah. So now this looks like, wow, looks like black is surviving this.
This match is really like, we don't really have here the leader, like for example in Aronian and against Shahrir game, like Aronian is leading the match, but here like there is one game Wesley Saw has huge advantage, there is another game Jordan has a huge advantage, like it's really like switching.
Yeah, I think it's because Jordan seems to be coming up with these very interesting ideas in the opening in general, and with white he has found something very interesting against the Berlin 2 times now. So I think a lot of credit to Jordan. And once again, chat, let's show our appreciation for JVF or Jordan Van Forest, whichever way. Do spam Jordan OP, and let's show our appreciation for brilliant chess, regardless of the nationality.
Yeah, that's true. Can we really quickly go to the game of Ali Reza? Because this is a bit strange and also interesting. The bishop is hanging on d3 and he goes with knight e4. So what happens after c takes d3?
Wow. This is amazing. Knight into d6 check.
We have to take that with black.
And now rook e1 check.
King has to go on d8.
And now can I do some knight g5?
King c7.
I think it should be some kind of a long-term compensation against black's king. All of white's pieces out, all of black's pieces undeveloped. And this seems like something Li Kuang knows. Yeah, he, looking at the speed at which he's been playing, he has his entire 15 minutes. Ali Reza has only 11 minutes.
He is so well prepared for this tournament. Like all his games, he's showing that he's well prepared. And Ali Reza here we know him. He has this a unique style. Like he can find impossible moves, but he's struggling in this match pretty much. Can we see this game from the beginning, because there are not many moves? And
Yes, so
we
it started
might-
with d4, knight f6, and now Li Kuang plays knight f3, steering away from all these c4 c5 related setups. Knight f3, c5, d5, b5, and here he just sacrificed a pawn with e4, allowing black to take knight into e4. And instead of taking, of course, he cannot take bishop into b5 because of queen a5 check. But in any case, that was never his intention to trade the b pawn for the e pawn. But instead, he just goes bishop d3, queen a5 check, and now after knight bd2, knight d6, short castle. Look at white's development and black's development. Yeah, that's what makes the entire difference between both the sides. And now after c4, knight e4, c takes c4, knight e4. Alireza did not take c into d3. Instead, he finally tries to get some development going. But do you think it's a bit too less, too late?
I think yeah. There are some things that black is still struggling. For example, the development of the queenside pieces. There's like knight c6 coming really unpleasant there, and still the king is in the center. Of course, white will try all the best not to allow black to castle without some of the loose. Maybe there can be e7 pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, now after bishop g7, there can be something like bishop g5, targeting e7. Right now, there can be some ideas even to sacrifice this bishop. We just saw that he's not really worrying about his bishops. He can sacrifice because it is brilliant position of white. f6 here looks so bad, just blocking the bishop on g7 and creating all these weaknesses on the light squares. I don't know. I really like this position with white.
Absolutely. I also love this position with white, and white only needs to make a draw in this game to take the first set. He's leading by 2-1. So I think that makes things considerably worse for Alireza. It's a very, very tough spot. And is his eyes closed? Is his video like frozen, or has he gone into a state of trance?
His video is frozen because it happened previous time as well.
Okay.
I was thinking like he was just thinking, but it was just like that. It's impossible that he's closing his eyes so long in the rapid game.
Yeah, he does look like an impression of Buddha, and when people go through the most painful experiences, that's when such things happen. So his position is in a lot of suffering right now.
Oh yeah, it's very bad position, and he's quite ambitious chess player. He likes to attack. He doesn't like to be outplayed. He wants to fight and have complications. Yeah, what he likes.
And yeah, above all, he likes to win. Yeah, and here he's really not getting any chances.
Yeah,
it's like right out of the opening, he's already in such a bad position. It's not. It's like being punched before he can even enter the ring.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, exactly.
But
it's really amazing, the opening repertoire of Queen Liam. It's just really nice. Something that you can study a lot. If you want to look for some openings, I think that's the best idea to take a look at his games. And he played c3. Okay, because queen is on b6 and the knight is hanging, and our engine disliked that move.
Yeah, initially the engine went a bit crazy, but I think it's very understandable. Yeah, Lee Kwang, he just needs to make a draw, so he will try to keep things under control. He's not going to go for these uh, sacrifices, I think, unless it's immediately winning.
And look at this, Alireza. He's not going to play
down with the
this
fight,
anymore. He's going to sacrifice this 7 pawn and just to try some counterplay over there. Like he's really ambitious chess player.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit similar to a reptile. When it is threatened, it just loses its tail and continues to fight with the rest of. So this is just a very small offering in return for trying to get his pieces out, trying to develop.
Yeah. We have several moves, I think. Bishop captured on e7, rook e8.
No, I made those moves.
Oh, you made it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So he's thinking now to capture or not. Why he's really thinking like there is another option here to play knight c6 with the idea that if black captures the knight, they take c, e7 pawn is still hanging, and c7 might be a threat here. But this is not really necessary to do, like, because knight on d4 is so active in the center, and black's knight on b8 is not even developed, and that's what we usually do. So please take back this knight. You just don't like that move. Yeah, that could be really good for black, I guess.
Yeah. But it's still a nice illustration of what you shouldn't be doing. Yeah, like 1b3. There are some things in life which are meant to be shown on how it should be done. For example, the Catalan opening. And then there are examples which show you how it should not be done. Example, the b3 opening. Yeah, so I think Lee Kwang has this a bit under control. Meanwhile, an update on the Artemiev Hikaru match. They have drawn all 4 of their games in the first set. So it is 2-2 in the first set. And in the match between Jordan and Wesley, so do you want to go back and have a look at how that is going? Because
yeah,
I think
sure, let's do that.
So I guess this is going to end. It's not clear, yeah?
It's not really clear. Like, you might think that it's opposite color bishop and there is like draw, but you cannot really say that's equal or it's close to draw, because it's quite not standard position. White is very active here.
Yeah, and the presence of the rooks, it makes a lot of difference. And I think in general, it's always a big asset to have the pawn on the rook pawn as a passer, because they're usually the hardest ones to stop in general.
Yeah, the black king is cut off the G file, so black king cannot really control the pawn, H pawn, and also the rook position is quite passive here, just attacking while defending the f4 pawn. Is he going for bishop b3 just to target d5 pawn?
I guess. Yeah, I think bishop b3, and if black goes d4, then king e4 and f5.
Can I take like really quick break? I will just come back in.
Sure. All right. So chat is just it's just us now.
I'm still here. So if you are going to talk about I'm still here. Just moving now.
Sorry, chat. Oh yeah, all right, chat. It's just the two of us after such a long time. So long time no see. Good to be alone. And let's get those likes up to 200. So when Katie comes back and she's like, "Oh, I went and it's already 200." Amazing. So let's get that. And I don't know what meme Harsh is talking about. Ishan, I don't think the word good is remotely associated with you. Kids, yes. Good. I think everything in your life starts with B, and the adjective describing you as well. So talking about this question, it's actually not. It's not at all easy with black in terms of practical play. So rook e6, the idea is to try and get rook e3 check, a double attack / fork. But white can possibly prevent this with bishop e4. No, bishop e4 does d3. So white has to probably do something else. Bring back the king for one more maybe. This is Wesley's defensive resource, his defensive idea, but it's still a very long way for Wesley to try and make a draw here, try and hold this position, because these two passes very menacing, and with rook g1, which Jordan has just played, he's trying to make way for the king to move forward. King g4, king f5, and possibly h6 coming in. Bishop g6 is another possible move. So rook g1, rook e3 check, king g4, rook into d3, rook into c1. This endgame is probably going to be better for white. So he goes bishop e3. He avoids this rook endgame, but this is also not too much better for black. I'm not sure about rook h1 though. I thought he would, play something like rook g5 and try and get the king forward. But rook h1 also understandable. The problem is this probably allows some king g7, yeah, which is also played by Wesley. And now the white pawns, they're not freely rolling. They're under some kind of a lock and key. And it's not easy for white to get this h6 going. So for this reason, I would have preferred to keep this rook on the g file, cutting this king off from the h pawn. So king g4 and stuff can take place. But still, Jordan is trying king g4. And good night, Ishan. Meanwhile, just 4 more likes to hit the 200. So let's get that going. And again, probably all of you here would have already subscribed, but do hit the subscribe button in case you haven't. And thank you, Harsh. That's not the first time I've heard that. I've been told that my voice really puts people to sleep. So it's a pretty useful thing. Bishop f5, there's d3, no? Bishop into d3, rook into f4 check. I think this game is going towards a draw. What do you think, chat? Let's get the chat really involved here. So Wesley versus JVF. What is your prediction? Will it be a win for JVF, who is known as Jordan Van Forest, his full name, or a draw? Do make your voice heard. Do let me know. How do your students stay focused with that voice? Even I think the Pokemon is Jigglypuff, no? Or is it Clefairy? Do you think I'm more Jigglypuff or Clefairy? Talking about songs, I think that's like the best song I can sing. Jigglypuffs. Maybe I'll do it on my stream sometime. Guys, do get into the action. Do let your thoughts, opinions be heard, and don't get biased by my prediction that this game will end in a draw, because do you think I also look like Jigglypuff, or I just sound like Jigglypuff, chat? So yeah, this endgame it's pretty close to a draw now, because it's going to be an rook endgame with 2 versus 1, king into h5, rook into d3, rook a5, and this rook will take care of this pawn, this king will take care of this pawn. This is how division of labor works in general. So the concept of division of labor, there are like a few people and a few sets of tasks to be taken care of. So it's divided among the people. That's how we do opening preparation also when we are working together, you know. So let's say like Vidit has 10 openings to look at before the game. And at the end of the night, we divide that. I'll be checking like, you know, 6 or 7 of them and giving it to him in a very easily presentable way. And he will be taking care of his own in a few variations. So that is division of labor. And in endgames, when king and one more piece is there, so the king usually takes care of one of the pawns, the other piece takes care of the other pawn, and they work together in tandem and save the day. So this is going towards a draw. And Keti, are you back?
Yes, I put some lipsticks in for a cup of tea, because it got really chilly here. Like, it's so strange. It's summer, but it's so cold. You can't even sit outside at the balcony on the balcony.
Oh, I missed that actually. I missed the cold.
It was like that in Sochi as well.
So it used to get quite hot in the day, and in the evening it got really pleasant and breezy. And in Chennai, it gets really humid. So let's say it's like 30 degrees centigrade in Chennai and 35 in Sochi. But you probably end up sweating more in Chennai because it's closer to the sea and it's more humid.
Yeah.
So that's a draw. And you're in Van Forest 2-2 in the first set against Wesley So, and Artemiev 2-2 against Hikaru Nakamura in the first set, which leaves only one more game remaining because Aronian has won his first set against Mehmed Yaro, and it looks like something major has happened. It looks, I think I cannot be sure, but I think Li Kuang just missed C into B3 here.
I can't take on D3 because of B2. Oh, so B2, and if rook B1 or go somewhere, bishop F5 is the move.
Yes, he starts with bishop F5. And what is Li Kuang thinking here?
Oh,
the
wow.
queen has to go to F1, because if you go to D1, then there's not enough space for the rook to get out. So he has to go to F1, and now maybe just bishop into C3. Still not clear. Yeah, I think Alireza is still in this match. For those who are just joining us, Alireza has to win it to tie the first set at 2-2. He's down by 2-1. And on the other hand, for Li Kuang, just a draw should do. So this is the match situation in the first set now.
Yeah, queen is on F1. Alireza is still frozen.
Yeah, Alireza is getting, he's in this sage mode, you know. There is this anime called Naruto.
Yeah.
Where have you watched it?
I've heard of it, yeah.
So in Naruto, there's this thing called sage mode, which you can get into, where you then start getting energy from the nature. And the way Alireza is sitting right now, it looks like he's really trying to enter into this sage mode. So maybe that's what he's doing.
Interesting. Once it happened in my game, I was playing a tournament in Georgia, online tournament, and we had 2 cameras. And it turned out that my phone was fully charged, so of course. but it turned out that Zoom takes a lot of energy from the phone when it's like for like 2 hours or 3 hours, and it turned off. And it was like second. It was so complicated pawn end game, and arbiter interrupted us, stopped the game, and asked me to start the video, like side video. But I have another video. I'm showing the screen as well, and I'm playing on a second. And I was like, what? And I started to charge first, right? My opponent, I could see my opponent. Everybody was looking, like she was sitting and calculating all possible ways. And this like pissed me off so much. Like first interruption, and second, this behavior, right? You cannot really, like, of course you have all the right to think. You don't even need to look at the board to think. You have extra time. Like you can just close your eyes and think. Imagine you're a grandmaster.
Like Ali Reza.
Yeah, like him. And like she was thinking like that. And when I charged my phone and I started second camera, it was still winning for me. But I just missed this because I was so upset about all the situation.
Yeah.
And I really feel that it was very unfair for me that arbiter just interrupted me in that way.
I can completely empathize with you here, because in chess you need to have 100% concentration and focus. Yeah, when it gets distracted by even a bit.
Yeah, I know it's like not perfect not to have like I don't know. I really had charged the phone, but it's just, it just happened like that.
Yeah.
And you cannot really think all the details unless you have an experience. Now, if I play, of course, I will have charger with me, but it's like no one really suggested that. It was one of the first tournaments, and I just felt unfair with that.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think it's really a call that the arbiter has to take based on if there is really any suspicion for cheating or not. And if there is not, I think it.
Yeah. I'm sure like now they are not interrupting this game just because they have second camera as well, which shows the screen of the player, which is actually on the side. It shows the screen and the chess player. Like you can see what a player is.
Yeah, and also the screen is shared and there is the task manager and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of it, nothing beats over the board chess. Yeah, I think that was really unfortunate thing to happen to you. It's a pity.
Yeah. That's still an experience. Yeah, I really don't know. You can't really fight with the arbiters, especially at the moment when you are like, you're shaking because your position is so complicated. You don't know how to do the things, and this kind of saying like.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter even if you can fight. Yeah, I mean, if your concentration is disturbed for that 1 second, I think it's already.
But you know what is really strange? Like the arbiters cannot do this. Like if I were Nana. It's not really easy, or
true,
like
true,
do you understand? Like there's only one person I mentioned because everybody knows Nana how strong is her character, and there are also other girls like they will protest immediately like that, and I think that's a good approach. Like you should not be really distracted
submissive.
by like. When there is additional, that's why we have second cameras. If something happens, it's let me finish my game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it looks like it's over for Ali Reza. Yeah, it really looks over. He's down to 30 seconds. His position is hopeless. He's losing a piece, and his counterplay with the B pawn didn't really work out. Bishop d6, I think after queen into d8 check, bishop into d6, it's almost resignable.
You're going to see resign here quite soon. Resignation. Yeah.
Bishop d6 or bishop h6? Bishop h6 just to cover c1.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Li Kuang would be happy to even exchange everything. I would be happy to exchange everything if I only need a draw. Go into something like this. and not really care about winning the game, but just finishing the match off. Okay, he just goes for the win because it's so easy. Bishop d5 and then bishop h6. And this bishop will just defend b1 from a2.
No, bishop
So
h6.
maybe just bishop a2. Yeah, bishop h6 also wins.
Yeah. And the queen cannot really. Queen is really strong piece, but... Oh, he's going with bishop e5?
Also wins, yeah?
Yeah, because it wins b2 pawn. Oh, look at this. The emotions, happy emotions. Well-deserved victory, well-deserved victory. He was showing the did he cover the camera?
I think he just left. Yeah, he was doing this and then he stood up and walked.
Yeah. I mean, he really deserved, like, all these games that we saw, all the four games, he was showing a good preparation and also good technique.
Yeah, and he played really strong throughout. So I think that brings an end to an enthralling day of the quarterfinal. And we had two matches which ended in a 2-2 score in the set one. The match between Wesley So and Jordan Van Forest, which was incredibly thrilling. And also the match between Hikaru and Artemiev, 4 draws. But the games were really well fought, and it looked like Artemiev was in trouble in his black games, but he managed to defend and resist really well. In the game between, in the match between Levon Oronian and Mamad Yaro, Levon was really in top shape and continued to play his brand of very fast chess and managed to take Shaq out in just 3 games, winning 2.5. But they are back for another set of 4 games tomorrow. So it's not yet over. And in the matchup between Ali Reza against Li Kwang showed better preparation and better chess throughout the match and won very convincingly with a score of 3-1. But again, they'll be back for set 2 tomorrow. So stay tuned, and there is still a full set of games to be played tomorrow in the quarterfinal.
Right. Is that end?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was quite interesting. Like, all of these games, even the draws were so interesting, and they were fighting. It was just not like easy draws or whatsoever. The other 2 matches, one player is ahead of 2 points. So that also makes quite intense match tomorrow. And I also hope for some tie breaks. Why not? We like to see some of fun Armageddon games.
You always love that, Katie. You always love to see the tie breaks.
I do love that.
Yes. But as a commentator commentating late in India, I don't mind if the matches end on time, to be honest. I like to be a bit selfish there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, maybe not tomorrow, then later. We can agree with that. We can agree with that because I will do some predictions tomorrow, so
sure.
Yeah, let's agree on that. And thank you very much for the chat, for being here, so lovely. And thank you two to be here, and after such a long trip and journey, you're back, and that's really cool.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining in, Katie. And I should tell the chat that we are going to see you through almost all the days or most of the days for this iteration of the Champion Chess Tour. And that brings an end to the first day of the quarterfinal of the Chessable Masters. It was lovely being back with all you guys. Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you so much, chat. And see you all tomorrow at 8:20.
See you.